There's the white flag from Barney the Flagman. 1 lap to go at Long Beach. White flag is out, brought to you by Whiplash Simcams.
Yeah, can really hold him off. He looked like he's started to gap Cantonio just ever so slightly. Got about half of a second. It's been hovering right around there. Oh, Cantonio really pushing. He's sideways out of turn number 1. But Rayleigh just keeping that car pointed in the right direction. Nice and smooth, able to keep it going. It's going to be tough. Antonio knows that there's not very many chances, even if he can get close enough to him to make a move. So we'll see as they come through 6 and 7, head toward turn 8 onto the backstretch.
Deeper in the field, nothing changing. Lap traffic ahead. It's Kevin Peak and Bradley Alvis right in front of our race leaders down East Seaside Way. And to turn number 9 for the final time. Lap traffic in the way, and Rayleigh goes for it on Peak. He sends it into turn 9. He knows he can't wait. He knows he can't give an opportunity to Kevin Cantonio. Cantonio's going to take it anyway. Ships it into the hairpin, and Rayleigh's going to get away. Thomas Rayleigh is going to be a race winner in the North American Racing League. A last lap bump and run wasn't enough. This man wins at Long Beach.
Wow, what a finish coming through that hairpin. I thought they were all going to wad it up. We had lap traffic in there, staying in there.
Zelazny might have a run here. He pulls up. 2 laps to go at Auto Club Speedway. What a run this has been. 5 cars out front just dancing around for the lead. Salas back to the bottom. Honeycutt stuck up top. Slide job out of Salas. Crossover out of Honeycutt.
23 should have a big run here. He does.
You see Salas starting to cover it up. He goes up the racetrack. Honeycutt's clear of them both. He shoves it up in front of the 23, gets himself loose. It'll be white flag this time by. Salas down low. Zelazny looking for a hole. Side by side, 3 wide, coffee in it. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. Brought to you by Whiplash Simcams. Who is going to win the Luke's Playhouse 200? Honeycutt controlling the race. Coffee in second. Tires are aging. Zelazny off the top rope. Got a little bit free. He's going to crash with lights. And yes, wall there. Who knows? Honeycutt, though, leading the race. Can Coffee get a run? He's going to send it. He hits him. Big bump and run. Coffee's going to try and get away. Can Salas get there? Coffee's going to crash. Salas is going to crash. Watch Nick Lights here to the stripe. Salas is going to do it with no front bumper.
Unbelievable.
Wow. We're into the final months of the National Oval Racing Association Retro Cup Series season. And after last week at Richmond, we've officially cut the field down to 10. 10 chasers with one goal, the 2005 season championship. It'll be a blast from the past in the racetrack with all new faces in the cars, and only one can take top honors. It's that time. Welcome to the chase. Welcome to Pitstop TV in the virtual Loudon, New Hampshire. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV with Zach Murtis alongside. And Zach, despite the technical difficulties just getting into the iRacing.com session, welcome to the New Hampshire 190. Today's coverage is brought to you by Harpoon Designs, by NORA, and by Whiplash Creative. And Zach, I'm excited. I say that every time, and I've become self-aware. However, this racetrack over the years has really grown on me. It's near and dear to my heart. And I think it's really becoming a gem on iRacing.
It looks a lot drier than when I last took a look at it.
That's fair. Yeah, we ran the WRL Legends a little bit ago.
Where's the opening in the wall?
Well, you gotta say...
No. Hold on. I'm not done with the bit. Show us the hole in the wall. Gee, if you remember that show.
It's been a minute. Well, anyways, here you go. New Hampshire Motor Speedway, 1 mile in length, technically 1.058. It's just over that magic mile distance, but it is the magic mile, and it was the Briar Motorsports Park. The road course outdates the oval, as the oval was built in 1989, and the track itself has been around, I believe, since the 60s. So plenty of racing history here at Hampshire Motor Speedway, just not always NASCAR racing history. And Zach, I'm excited for this next bit. Point standings. You ready to see the chase field?
Yes, sir.
Admittedly, I need to work on the sizing. Okay, I went a little.
That's cool.
I went a little
That's
too far.
cool.
I went a little too far.
Cool.
Yes, bringing some NASCAR 05 vibes into the show. Here we are. These are your point standings, and this is your chase field. Dalton Tucker, Hunter Sr., Josh Conover, Brian Jones, Kevin Baumler, Ryan Housden, Chase Durheim, Vincent Arthur, Jacob Gladulich, and Ronnie Norman. We'll talk about all of this and more, especially in Gas and Go, where we'll have 5 segments, rapid fire, back to back, I think. But yes, here are your standings. Definitely. Look, I told Josh Conover earlier this summer I wanted to get into some of that, literally the NASCAR 05 vibes. I've got the game out in the living room. Might go play it tonight, who knows. And here we go. I think, hopefully I've encapsulated it nicely. Hopefully I've done well, hopefully.
Huh?
What do you mean?
Look, man, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Hopefully, I've captured the NASCAR 05 vibes.
Yeah, big word, no do good.
Okay, well, these are your point standings. This is modeled after the standings graphic that you would see in the EA Sports release of NASCAR 05. I see Nick Geilis has tuned in and sees it now. I'm gonna work on the sizing. I thought I had it right. I don't. I'll work on the sizing, but I might even roll out a couple more graphics that are a little more in this vein. We'll see. This is the only one for now. I want to leave it up just for that. Yes, so we'll take a look, of course, as the evening goes on, a little more if we have to, but the chase has begun. You'll see your chase drivers on the left side ticker, right there, in yellow, so you'll know exactly who is fighting for a championship this season. Boy, do they stick out. Now, Zach, next order of business here in our Harpoon Designs pre-race show, that is, of course, talking to a driver. And first up, we're going to go ahead and grab Ryan Housden, who has been a whole bunch of fun to watch this season. Thought he would have maybe a win or two on the road courses. It never quite panned out, but as we get into the iRacing.com sim, we can also say hello, Ryan Housden, and can you finally knock down that door and get to victory lane? Not necessarily tonight, although you are top 5 in practice, but is there a racetrack left in this chase where you feel like you can finally do it?
There's a couple out there. I'd say maybe here, although I'm not going to put money on it. I think Phoenix is pretty good. Homestead, there's a chance. There's a couple. I think it's a good set of 10 for me, so I'm hoping to run strong.
And with it being, like you said, a good set of 10 for you, what do you feel like is going to be your biggest strength in this chase run? There's a lot of stacked drivers in this field, and you know you've got a solid resume of races run so far this year. What do you think you're taking to them, and what do you think is going to be your biggest strength?
I feel like I've had a few stints this season where I've rattling off some consistent top 5, 6 finishes, and if I have a strength, it's that right now, since I don't have the top end speed to win as often. But yeah, just try to be consistent, get good finishes. That's about it.
And Ryan, of course, a couple of things. First of all, I'm going to make you pick a driver for the win. I want you to think about that while I ask you this question. This is actually the race where, if you go back in 2005, Michael Waltrip and Robbie Gordon had a bit of a moment. Now, you're actually against the 7 car now in the standings for the chase. Ronnie made it. I don't think we're going to see you guys throwing helmets or anything tonight, but I have to ask, kind of in that vein, do you get more physical these final 10 races, knowing what's on the line? Do you take a few more chances? Do you rough these guys up at all? You've been very clean all season long. Really haven't hit a thing, unless somebody's hitting you and then maybe hit the wall. But do you maybe get a little more argy-bargy with these guys, knowing what's on the line for the whole season?
I'm not so sure I get so physical. I'm not a big fan of running guys really hard. I know I don't like it done to me, so I try to keep it pretty clean. But you know, if it does get down to the end of one of these races, and you know, if I'm looking at my first win, I'm gonna do anything I can within reason to try to get it done. So that's about the only time I'd really, you know, knock on that doorstep of being physical. Probably.
Fair enough. I know we're at the back end of warm up here, so I'll just keep this quick. Pick for the win. You got anybody in mind? You can pick yourself too if you want.
I'm gonna refrain from picking myself. I don't like doing that. So I know Chase is fast here, so I think if he has a clean race, he's going to be hard to beat. Shout out to everyone watching. I'm loaded up on some Oreos just to get this thing done. So thank you guys for the interview.
So you're picking Chase Durheim, just to be clear?
Yeah, I'll pick Chase Durheim.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'll let Ryan get to his duties for the evening. Zach, I'll just pivot right over to you. Who you got to win this race?
I'm taking the man that is fresh off baby daddy duty, and I'm going to pick Mr. Brady Moats.
That's one way to put it. Fair enough. I actually, let me see, who did I choose in fantasy? I think it's going to be the same person. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go for the 24 car. He's got the last 2 wins, California, Richmond. He's now at 3 for the season. This could be 3 in a row for Vincent Arthur if he manages to pull this one out tonight. And I think it's in his wheelhouse too. Flat track, kind of a short track. I think this is going to be a good night for old Vincent Arthur. And he just got the session too. Just got loaded in and everything. So we might talk to him here on the pace laps. I wouldn't count on that. We'll see. He was the other driver we wanted to talk to in pre-race. Between him not getting on until late and us having connection issues, don't know why, but we lied at iRacing the first time. Yeah, it's been one of those nights. But that said, Zach, we actually have to do gas and go really quick. I will not let the broadcast go without doing gas and go. Cars are on the grid. We'll go through the grid in a moment. But first off, Zach, rapid fire, gas and go tonight. First up, Ronnie Norman squeaks on by. He's in the chase, but how does he do?
It's going to be a toughie. He has certainly had his fair share of good runs as we got into the chase, but now he needs to capitalize on it. And if he doesn't capitalize, Andrew, I'm sorry to say, you're going to lose more points than you bargained for as we roll through these 10 races.
That's fair. That's fair. We'll see how he's able to do, but Ronnie Norman is in the chase at the very least. Props to him for making it, and that's a situation you wouldn't have seen the 7 car in traditionally years ago, so props to him making it in. Just by the skin of his teeth a little bit, but he is in the chase fighting for a championship. And next up then on the list, if I can get, there we go, one out of the way, there's the next, Dalton Tucker. He is the top seed in the chase. We've confirmed that much, Zach, but that doesn't guarantee everything. And of course, he loses that big points lead overnight from hundreds of points back to most of these guys in the chase. It's now just 5 back to Hunter Sr. That's a big blow as a driver. So now you've got everybody covered, and suddenly it's nothing.
Yeah, he has been on a tear. The big thing here, like you said, is the points. The ability for Dalton Tucker to walk out of here with a good run is still there, but the points reset is going to be so crucial for him, as he actually hasn't won the last couple of races. He's been struggling a little bit here and there.
And Brady Motes is back. You mentioned it. You picked him to win this race. Brady Motes back in the field in the number 8. Good to see his name back on the entry list for sure.
Absolutely. I'm super glad to see Brady Motes' super dad is back. I could say the same about Josh Conover when he had to step away for baby duties. Especially, nobody forgets that he had to pull out at Atlanta. I was going to make such a good joke, but I can't do it on broadcast. But Brady has stated that he's going to be back in that 8 car for the rest of the season. Really great to see him back.
Good to have Brady Motes back in the field this evening and beyond, and a couple other topics potentially as these guys will take a trip down the pit lane in just a moment. Does NORA explore the new car being released by iRacing next week? iRacing is dropping a Grand National Gen 4, which is similar to the Gen 4, Legacy Gen 4 we already have. Not these cars, to be clear, but it's going to have, Busch Series, Nationwide Series kind of stats to it to make it a little more in line with what they would have run back in, for example, 2006.
Okay, so you're going to have to run this by me one time, because I honestly didn't understand it when they announced it. So we're just getting another Gen 4 car, but with Busch Series stats.
Correct. That's it.
Okay.
It's the Busch Series. It's basically the Busch Series rules package on the Legacy Gen 4. I think it's worth exploring. I don't know that you want to switch the series to it. I think the Cup Series has an appeal to it, but we'll see what ends up happening in the next year or so. And then here we go. The WR Legends ran at New Hampshire earlier on. It was in the rain in qualifying, and then still wet track conditions for the race. Zach, in your opinion, since you won the dang thing, how'd it go?
It went great, honestly. Had a nice battle for the race lead, and everybody was pretty spread out. It was raining. Oh boy.
It was in qualifying. But it just made it fun, right? I mean, wet racetrack is fun. The Cup Series did it, right, on the oval again. But
They did do it.
That said, let's go ahead and get down to our grid. We do have cars circulating, and this is going to work out perfectly now that they've done their siding lap on pit lane, hopefully to introduce everybody to where they need to make their pit stops and everything else. Let's take a look at tonight's starting grid. On pole, Chase Durheim going to lead us to the green. I guess a good pick from Ryan Housen, who will start over his right shoulder. Farther back, Kevin Baumler, Brian Jones, row 2. That is Josh Conover and Vincent Arthur in the third row, followed by Ronnie Norman and Dalton Tucker, and finally Hunter Sr. and Caden Henry Oaks complete our top 10.
Outside the top 10, Jake Christenberry and Jacob Gladulich, row number 6. Row number 7 in the 13th and 14th spot. Right behind them, you are going to find Cody Anderson and John Cottle. 15th and 16th on the grid, John Skavnicki and Matthew George with 17th and 18th. Right behind them being Nick Hom and Brady Motes. Behind them is going to be Elijah Mopin and Caden Perkins to round out your top 20.
Dakota Sidris, Christopher Heights, Rusty Rafferty, Nathan Anderson, Jason Steptoe, and Coulter Clark. The rest of our 26-car field. Good to have you all here this evening. Round 2, the start zone here at New Hampshire. We'll turn the music down and turn the engines up. 180 laps in New Hampshire begins now. Welcome to the chase. Weather conditions on screen, 77 degrees in the air, 106 on track. It's hot. It is very, very hot. I don't see any clouds in the sky. The sim says clear. It's going to bake in the sun all afternoon, or I guess evening long. One lap complete at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Back down in turn number 1, you can see a little bit of a stack up. Kevin Baumler had to jump out of the gas. He backed up Josh Conover. That's going to promote Dalton Tucker to the inside lane. They're going to stay side by side down into turn number 3. A lot of people taking looks here and there, but no big changes yet. You see Gladulich all the way up in that third lane. Everyone's just kind of moving around, finding their footing. This is one of the few short tracks on the schedule. You'll see some multi-groove racing. And these guys are showing up and showing out in the first couple of laps. Durheim sets the quickest lap of the race as Howson is under fire from Brian Jones.
A quick look at Whiplash SimCam's race details. This is a 180 lap race, as you can see, 190.5 miles, 306.5 kilometers, 77% fuel range. Now, they did not give us a fuel number today, but we'll keep an eye out as to exactly how far these guys can go. You see 10 change sets as normal, fixed setup, single file restarts, all the usual bit. And we've got a battle, 4-second spot, and this kind of tracks, honestly. This feels like a Durheim first, then Jones and Hausen, Arthur, and kind of others filling in from there. This makes sense, I feel like, to see these two in particular battling towards the front this early in this race. Brian Jones, Ryan Housden, they've been good on these types of racetracks. I don't know, for some reason this makes a lot of sense to me. Also worth looking at, of course, the fantasy game has reset with the chase, just like the whole league. So as these guys get their first handful of laps in, see Josh Conover actually ahead of Dalton Tucker still, not by a whole lot. They get that spot sorted out. But the fantasy standings, Zach, here we go. That's the wrong league. This is the wrong league. This is the right league. Oh, my button's crossed up. Kevin Baumler on top. You can see we do this for other leagues. So if you are just playing for NORA so far, hey, that's a good segue. Go play the other league games too. But there you see Kevin Baumler on top with the chase reset. And everybody has been given bonuses. Of course, if you have been playing, you know that you pick a fastest lap winner each week and a race winner each week. So that earns you playoff points to help the seeding in the chase. There's also bonuses for the seeding in the chase, and then a couple of bonuses for like most wins and stuff like that. And Zach, you've got some work to do, but you have caught right up with this chase.
Going to make it count, or at least I'm going to try to. There is definitely some work to do, but with the chase reset happening, I feel like I'm right back in the fight. And speaking of fight, don't look now, but Hunter Sr. is looking to pass up Caden Henry Oaks. You saw a little bit of fighting with Anderson and Christenberry as well, and now they are just rolling through 3 and 4, trying to make it work. And honestly, Andrew, just bringing him up makes me think, and honestly, I do want to talk about it. One has got to feel for Jake Christenberry as Hunter Sr. goes way down to the bottom to try and make this move. But Christenberry fought and fought and fought all season long. He had a couple of bad races. Notably, Indianapolis is the one that pokes everyone's attention when you talk about his potential to run for the championship. And Christenberry, I mean, he's doing what he needs to do right now. If he was in the chase, he'd be running in a really good spot, but he just missed out. I mean, just barely, too. It was a little bit more than a race worth of points and something that he could have made up the difference on. But with a bad race at Richmond and a couple of bad races preceding that, he was already walking into a losing battle. And that battle was, unfortunately, of course, it was going to be lost.
Unfortunately, he's got to watch from the sidelines the rest of the season. But I do think Jake is in a good spot, headspace, right? I mean, he's definitely jaded from what has happened the last handful of weeks getting to this point. But give him some time, maybe a reset for 2006 next year, 2027. But I think he'll be in a better spot and should make a run at the chase for sure, as it was a good battle here as well. Brady Moats, I wanted to watch for this guy. I actually wanted to talk to him pre-race. Didn't get a chance to, but Brady has got a special line he likes to run here at New Hampshire, and he is putting it to use, Zach, already. Brady up into the 13th spot. This guy started 18th, so he is making some moves. Here he goes right back down to the bottom. We saw him do this in BRB here months ago, back in April.
We just saw him do it like half an hour ago in the WRL Legends Tour.
That's a completely different story. This is the Oval. This is a big NASCAR stock car. Homeboy is down on the grass nearly.
I mean, he touched the grass in the race.
Oh, Caden Henry Oaks. Big trouble for Caden. He is in the wall. Caution is out. there's some news around him. I don't know if I can share it just yet, but Caden, unfortunately, in the wall, and his day is effectively done. He might be able to get the car back out there at some point, but as he rolls around here, yeah, you can see the left front dragging around. Well, just the bumper. The wheels look okay. He might be all right to stay in this race. And oh, Rusty Rafferty missing his front bumper in the 27. My gosh.
Interesting developments at the moment. And look at... Excuse me, I have the hiccups. Looking around, there's not too much to see.
I'm trying to get to whatever caused this for Rafferty. I think I've actually just gone back to pace laps. I have. So here we go. Here's the start of the race for Rusty Rafferty. Then we'll see what happened. See what happened if I can get the words out. As that, I think, is a start violation, maybe from the 41. But let's see what happened here to Rusty in the first couple laps. Then we'll see what happened to Caden Henry Oaks. Rusty in the 27, just running as kind of a fun run for him tonight. Has run a couple of races already this season over in that number 27 car. And it had to happen here right at the start. If it doesn't happen down in these corners, I will get a more precise look, potentially. This is an imperfect science. And yeah, it didn't happen there. Bear with me. It happened literally the next corner. Okay. I don't like fast forwarding, but here you go. Well, there you go.
A little too far.
Yeah. Alright, racing with the 40. That's Sidrus. Tries to go up in front, and Sidrus ends up hitting him, and that gets both of the Shelmerdine cars, Rafferty and Coulter Clark, in the 72. So Sidrus getting one, gets both. As that is what happened back on lap 2 or 3, and we'll go ahead and see what happened now to the 5 car moments ago to bring out our first caution of the evening. Thankfully, that wasn't the yellow earlier. And then this is the issue for Caden Henry Oaks, racing with Cody Anderson.
Caden is coming off of turn number 4 here. And just a little bit of contact, overcorrects into the wall, comes back down the racetrack very hard.
Onboard look.
On board with Caden Henry Oaks. I mean, it's just a normal corner right here. The 3 of Anderson just washes up and washes out. He's trying to fight the wheel back to the right, and then he eventually locks up the tires. I think that was a mistake right there, Andrew.
It was, yeah. I mean, he's just trying to do his best. It's tricky, and in a lot of cars on iRacing, you know, stock cars specifically, you get in a tizzy like that, you can lock it down, and it just kind of straightens it out. That's not the case in these Twisted Sisters. It did not come back around on him at all. And it's getting off into the wall he went as we get restarted here very, very quickly. John Caudle, the race leader. Pit stops did happen. He was the one car to stay out. Everybody else has tires. 2 of them, it looks like, for Durheim and Norman. And caution is out. Nathan Anderson, the 41, has got problems. So a rough week at Richmond gets rougher a week later at New Hampshire. See what happened to the car that already had damage, actually, from that first run. Just gets loose. And it looks like he did have a pit stop there, so maybe on cold tires, but just got loose off the corner. Here's his onboard. Yeah, just got free, kept rotating, and let's get it to a stop off of turn number 2. Didn't hit anything. Hated that was a caution, but that's just how it goes, I suppose, as Caudle stays out to stay in the race lead even longer here, protecting those sets of tires. I wonder if he knows that they've got 10. You've got plenty of tires for this race. I'm not really sure there's anything to gain from staying out like this, but props to him for trying it. I do want to go ahead and dial up a driver that we saw making some headway, though, in that first run, Zach, and you picked him for the win. let's go ahead and bring him in. As here we go, Brady Moats in the number 8. We'll drag him up from his Discord channel. And Brady, it's like we're dragging you back from the grave. You're back from the dead, it feels like. It's been so many weeks without you, we forgot who actually drives this 8 car. Welcome back.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure to be back. Just super happy with dad life and everything, man. And still in the honeymoon phase and loving it. And life's been great so far, man. I mean, we're going to be more blessed with how healthy Grant is and how well Hannah's recovered and everything. Shout out to them. I know they might be tuned in or whatever, but yeah, man, could be more blessed and happy to be back in the saddle, man. It feels great. I was super pumped for tonight and super pumped to be back and seeing y'all broadcast it too. So all in all, very, very happy.
These are the words of a man who is absolutely sleep deprived and won't tell anybody that he is. No, I remember those days very vividly, and it's always nice to see friends get to experience that as well. I mean, how life-changing, away from the sim, obviously, which you have been, how life-changing is it?
Oh, dude. You know, everybody tells you, they say, like, hey, you know, like, it's going to change the whole way you look at things, like, it's going to be this, going to be that. I promise you, it's not a load of crap, okay? Like, I kind of thought it was just like, yeah, whatever. It's just going to be, you don't have a young one. It's okay, like, whatever. No, it's not that. It is a lot more, man, and it is literally like that TikTok you see going around where it's like, feels like you could run through a brick wall. Like, it is awesome, dude. Like, it is amazing to be a dad.
Zach, you got anything for him before these guys restart?
No, I'm not a dad. I got nothing to say here. I'm a third wheel in this group right now.
All right, we're going to watch the restart from your perspective here, Brady. Best of luck.
All right, thanks, gentlemen.
We'll get Brady back down to his team channel with the DEI crew as soon as Discord lets me. There we go. And he'll get this race restarted here, Zach, but good to talk to him. As we go back green, lap 20 of 180, a long ways to go for these guys. Here's the onboard with Brady Moats. Trying to put the pass here on Jake Christenberry. Brady was technically suspended. I believe it was from Indianapolis. It was after Pocono 2. I believe it was for Indy. Technically had a suspension for too many incidents this season. And then, I mean, that same week, his addition to the family, Grant, his son, was due, and he went for the C-section. Everything went great. Yeah, he's been playing the dad life ever since. We just have not seen any of him. As there we go, caution in the back. Oh boy, Dakota Sidrus around this time. We saw the contact he made with Rusty Rafferty early in the race that handicapped the 27 and 72 the rest of the race. Well, it does seem that the bumper is back on the 27, thankfully. Here is Sidrus off of turn 2, just got free. Looked exactly like what we saw for his teammate Nathan Anderson on the previous restart. Zach, just one lap later.
Yeah, things are just not going very well for those guys in that camp at the moment on these restarts.
Yeah, and you know, Dakota ran ARN yesterday morning. Had a good day at Daytona. Had a good race overall, but turn 2 is very, very difficult here at New Hampshire. I like saying, and I've been saying it, I think this is the third... Here we go, pit stop finally from John Caudle. I think this is the third broadcast we've done this summer at New Hampshire, right? At least on the Oval. And, you know, every time we do one, I mention I've been on the sim for 10 years, and since the day that I joined the sim back in July of 2016, turns 2 and 4 at New Hampshire have always been difficult. They are just really, really tricky, super icy. Something about the transition from the banking as Caden Henry Oaks gets some repairs here, along with Jacob Gladulich and some others, but it's very easy to spin off that corner. It's just a matter of discipline, throttle discipline, to not do it.
What is this about, throttle discipline?
Yeah, no, iRacers these days. What is that? But it's gonna be something these guys deal with over the course of the race for sure.
It's either stab it or don't. Stab it or don't.
Well, you're doing it like you're in a Model T with your left foot.
Okay, I'm gonna explain how.
Don't worry, karma got me back right there because I almost choked getting that out.
So, I explained this the other night when we were doing the hill climb broadcast, but it's like muscle memory. My left foot is not expecting to be gassing, and my right foot is not expecting to be pressing the brake pedal. So it creates a situation for me where, honestly, the clutch pedal, although it is the same spring, it is the same ratio as my throttle pedal, it feels lighter on my left foot because my left foot is so used to more load on it.
I get it. I get it. Genuinely, I get it. But I'm still going to make some jokes.
I'm sure you will.
Here we go.
I'm sure you
24 laps. 24 laps complete this time by Chase Durham. Going to lead us back to the restart zone. A lot of the field needs to pack up here. This could be hectic coming to the restart, Zach. But green flag, 24 complete. A whole lot more to go. The 24 had some room to pack up coming out of turn 4, and here he is, the inside of Ronnie Norman already, battling for the third spot. Vincent Arthur making work down low. Ryan Housden pokes up into 5th. And Ronnie Norman, I guess he could still get in a fight with Ryan Housden, but he looks good so far. Top 3 here, might drop to 4th, but still a good start for the 7 car. As he skirts into the chase in position number 10. He's going to get clear here. Maybe. Yeah, he will. I think Arthur's a little bit stronger on the bottom right now, Zach, but there's no denying just how good the top is at defending, even here at New Hampshire. We saw it last week at Richmond. We see it most weeks, I feel like. The top side generally is better for defending at most racetracks we visit. However, that bottom still may be faster over the course of run. We'll see, especially as Arthur goes way down yonder to that inside wall inside of turn 2. No dice for him just yet, though.
Of course no dice. There's no dice in race cars. That's against the rules.
Ah, yes. Zach murders the jokester.
Oh, come on. You have more dads in this race now that you can make dad jokes with, and I can't make one stupid little quip.
Oh, you can. Battle for third. Ronnie Norman, Vincent Arthur still going at it. Chase Durham, of course, leading Brian Jones on his coattails as these guys work through the early laps in the top 10. A little farther back, here's a driver that we've never seen in NORA before, Coulter Clark. He's racing this evening out of the Kirk Shelmerdine stable, which is effectively Whiplash Racing, which is effectively our team. And here he is, working on Nick Hom. He might be able to crack the top 10 here before we're done. He is moving forward nicely. Doesn't have much experience in these cars, very open about that. Started 26th, dead last, and here he is now, already up in the 15th spot.
Taps the ball right there. But
Trouble, Vincent Arthur. He's got damage. He's got damage up the racetrack. That car is junk.
Is the front down?
I think so. Oh, and he nearly right-reared Christenberry. Something is not right on that car right now. I don't know what. It might be okay.
Brady Moats rolling on by on the bottom line, slots right up in front of the 24, jumps to the bottom. Maybe Vincent's trying to go get it back. Wow, look at Brady's line.
I think the handling is off on this 24. Let's watch this off the corner. I think the handling is off, and he's just trying to battle. Maybe not. No, it definitely is.
Well, he just hit the wall on his own.
On the straightaway. Something's not right for him at all.
I wonder if he got turned into the outside wall and it knocked the toe out on the right front.
I think it's something like that, yeah. You can see he's having to give a whole lot of room to the wall now as Brian Jones goes after the race lead with Chase Durham. I want to get to a replay of Arthur, but this obviously takes precedence. The 16 trying to hang on. The 45 works underneath. Ronnie Norman on the right rear of Brian Jones here. Housden not far back. Josh Conover is there. Very, very close here at the top 5. Let's see. Brian Jones gets in the back bumper there. Chase Durheim just a little bit. Jackson up on corner exit. That's going to hold the 45 back. I think, Zach, this gives us a moment to go back and see what happened to the 24. I'm going to try to get there. This is still a lap short of where it was. Bear with me. This, I believe, is also a lap shot. Here we go. I think he hit the wall for 4. I'm trying to do it without showing the iRacing UI, and I am just having a night here. This, I think, will be the moment. He was racing with Ronnie Norman that entire restart. Here he is off of turn 4 down off of the apron. And he just pulls down.
That's it. That's it.
Zach, I have a theory.
I'd be inclined to hear it because I'm pretty confused.
I wonder if he runs a wheel with a quick release. And if he didn't get it quite seated before the race. That would explain why when he went to try and index the wheel on the straightaway, if he's going to where his tape is, if he didn't quite get it back on in the right teeth, that might be why he hit the wall. I don't know what else this could be. Because you can tell something is not quite right, and if your wheel is off a couple of degrees on the teeth and the quick release system, that could be throwing your brain off because you've got to reposition your hands. I'm sure you've done it in the real car, right? I mean, if you have that off just a couple of teeth, like it's going to mess with your brain, especially when it's just close enough, but not quite right.
Would you like to understand how very I was going to say something really bad. Would you like to understand how incredibly OCD I am about my steering wheel in the race car?
Don't you have like 4 or 5 rings of tape around it?
No.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
have one singular piece of orange tape, which isn't even tape because it comes with the MPI wheel. I have one singular orange piece that goes in the center of the wheel to show that wheels are straight. So if it is off by even like 1 tooth, just a tad, I will readjust it before I even go out on the racetrack.
Fair. I would be the same way. I would be the same way. But that's what it looks like to me. It looks like it came off when he exited turn 4. Or like it was already off, maybe he didn't get quite right, and he tried to reset it down the straightaway.
It's a driver preference, too. If your wheels aren't straight and you know it, you kind of want to compensate for that. Like, there are drivers, okay, that will actively move the tape so they know where their hands are at and they know where the car is at when they're on the racetrack. Like, you have your center tape, and then say, like, 45 degrees to the right, you have another piece of tape wrapped around your steering wheel to show that when you're going through the corner, you know where your hands are supposed to stop. If that tape is center, then you are hitting your radius exactly how you should be. If it's past it, you're... Hold on. If it's past it, you're tight. If it's too far back, you're loose. Or you're understeering or oversteering, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. I mean, there's a reason when you see, in NASCAR races or whatever, any footage inside any race car, honestly, because even in a legend car, like you're saying, there's a reason that bit of orange, that's, that center stripe is in the wheel. Even sim racing wheels have them, because that is center. That way the driver knows, hey, this is what is supposed to be center, so you don't have to think about it when you return that wheel to center position. You know, hey, this is what should be straight up and down. This is, with whatever steering offset in the sim, or even if you want to, set your wheel a few degrees offset, this is what rolling straight should look like. And now, a lot of times, especially for super speedways in NASCAR, you'll see drivers have a couple of different ones, so this is what it should be in the corner. That way they know they're not scrubbing too much speed. There's a lot of great uses to that, as there's maybe a block from Arthur, maybe not on Anderson. I don't know if that was actually a block considering his situation. But I mean, there's a lot of reason for that little ring of orange tape around the steering wheel for drivers in real cars and here on iRacing. It does exist for a reason. It does serve a purpose. In case you were curious.
Don't we all serve a purpose in this glorious matrix that we call life?
We do, but that might be getting a little bit too deep. Fitting, though, that it was on lap 42. As Chase Durheim leads, we got 9 of the 10 chasers out front. The only chaser not in the top 10, that's a 20 car. Jake McGlangelo is currently running 20th spot. This is kind of status quo for him, though, as all the chasers are up front. We're on board with one of the final of them in the lineup here. Calvin Baumler looking to pass Dalton Tucker. What is it these last couple of weeks? Tucker is not himself. Is it just these racetracks? I mean, last week at Richmond, he wasn't that remarkable, honestly, and so far tonight has only been as high as 6th. This does not feel like Dalton Tucker.
You never know. Give it till late in the race, Andrew. He could come alive. We've seen it happen time and time again.
Well, Dalton running here in position number 7 for the time being. You see the great battles ahead. Housden and Conover have slung a few different moves these last handful of laps. Conover winning out for the time being, and even Durheim is getting away from Brian Jones. So after that battle we saw a handful of laps ago, it has tapered off as Hunter Sr. works on the inside here of Ryan Housden. This is for position number 5. And the Juicy Spider, number 33, heads right down to the very bottom of the racetrack on the apron. Might have the spot here. Not quite clear.
Right side. Outside.
And he's got
quarter
it.
Pumper clear. Oh, coming back.
Ryan
right
might
side.
come back on it, though. He might get back to the right rear. We'll see. No dice. Ryan Housden will stay behind.
The spotter and me was coming out. Whoa, a little bit of argy-bargy right there between Dalton Tucker and Kevin Baumler. No contact, but Tucker moved down and Baumler moved with him just to not get into him. This is on board with Nick Hom as John Cottle is up into the wall in that 28 car, filling in for Nick Geilis, who is actually on the spotter stand for that 28 car right now.
He's supposed to not even be at the racetrack. He's suspended. Too many incidents, I believe.
Well,
At least I believe. I'm pretty certain I read this past week. Nick Geilis suspended. Review by Nick Geilis. Oh, he had to suspend himself.
well, the fun part about iRacing is that it's not like real NASCAR, where if you get suspended, they don't see you walk up to the track gate and hold out your hard card and say, yeah, turn around, go home, buddy. Sorry you flew all the way from Charlotte to be here at Talladega.
Okay. I think it would be fun if you could, I don't know how you would do this, you couldn't, but I think it'd be fun if you could suspend a driver from the league so that they can't even log into iRacing the next day, or, until their suspension's over. Like on race day, Nick can't even sign in. Like, change the password and don't give it back to him until, I guess, Tuesday night at midnight, or Tuesday morning at midnight.
Well, I'm sure you can talk to the iRacing development team about putting that in the next death block.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't see that one happening anytime soon. Although Calvin Baumler, he might have something here for Dalton Tucker soon. This is the battle still for the 7th spot. Oh, man, look at all these guys running way down the racetrack. At some point, everybody running the apron has got to actually be worse for it. If everybody's doing it, it's not going to be faster anymore. There's going to be too much heat down there, too much rubber. These guys are definitely trying, and I want to correct myself. Josh Conover, a couple laps into the race, actually gave us a fuel number about 54 laps. So, Josh, we appreciate you as you're going for 3rd spot.
Andrew, it's funny you talk about things that way. If everyone's doing it, then what benefit is it going to have? It makes me think, since you're such a big Pixar aficionado, I think back to The Incredibles. When Syndrome was trying to make gadgets or products to make everyone superheroes, if everyone's super, then nobody is. So if everybody's running the bottom, then who's truly the fast one anymore?
Well, and you know what? That's exactly why when we see strategy battles, I will mention, I mean, I like seeing guys throw something into it, you know, just give it a shot, do something different, because you cannot beat somebody doing the exact same thing. And so even in dirt racing or oval racing, this applies too. Even like this, if you're the first one to go down there, you are breaking the mold, you are trying something as these guys pass up the 40 car of Sidrus to put him a lap down. Anytime you go outside of that box that everybody else is holding themselves within, you are trying, you are giving yourself a better chance, because you simply cannot beat somebody else doing the exact same thing they are doing when you are trying to pass them. It's not going to happen. So props to all these guys for finding creative ways to get around the racetrack, and it just might work out for Josh Conover here soon. He has got position now on the inside of Ronnie Norman. And honestly, Zach, give it like 5 more laps. I think he's getting, yeah, not even. He's going to have him clear here into 3.
Yeah, going down to 3, Conover's going to take that spot away. Norman's going to try to fight back on the top. And it's not going to happen. Drifts way up. Well, maybe not. Off of 4. Well, they're still side by side right here. No, that was Senior and Norman. The perspective threw me off there for a second. Conover is clearly in front. Senior's trying to make it work. And I was going to say, if you're doing the exact same thing somebody else is doing, but say you do it better, but if you're doing it better, you're not doing the same thing they are, because you're doing something that they're not to be better.
Well, no, I mean, not even, like, you're going to run into them. You're just going to run smack. Like, if you run the exact same line as somebody the exact same way, and you are behind them, they're going to be in your way. So either you're just going to run in the back of them and stall out, or you're just going to wreck them. One of the two. Regardless, that's a lot more nuance into semantics than we need for tonight. I will say the fuel window is about 54 laps. We've just hit lap 55. Granted, we had those couple of cautions early, so these guys have, I'm sure, probably at least 60 laps of fuel. We're about 20 away from that mark. So I expect these guys in the pit lane for the first time around lap 70 to 80, I would think, as far as green flag stops. From there, I'll be curious to see exactly how far they can go, because that will not be a good enough distance to get them to the end of just one more stop. So I'm curious what these drivers are starting to cook up as Ronnie Norman starts to get eaten up on these cold tires. Kevin Baumler's starting to come forward. He's gotten ahead of Tucker, who's down to 9th, by the way. Tucker is dropping.
What, Waggy?
Also, some great battles throughout the field. Here is Elijah Mopin racing with the 2 of Christopher Heights, who's back in the 2 car tonight. Rusty Rafferty right behind these guys. Rusty keeping the car in one piece, at least now that he's got the bumper back on it. And then Caden Henry Oaks back here, about to get lapped. He is racing with Nathan Anderson, these two at the very back end of the lead lap at the moment. Not sure for how much longer, as Chase Durheim works to catch up to them both and put them both a lap down. Not ideal for the driver of the 5. There's Durheim, there's Conover, and there's your first battle on the racetrack. The 81 and the 7, maybe soon to include that 33 of Hunter Sr. But Kevin Baumler for now just trying to get clear of Ronnie Norman, and he will. And Zach, one thing we've not yet gotten to tonight is our power rankings as Hunter Sr. gets down on the inside here of Brian Jones. We'll keep watching this. By the way, Conover is clear on Jones by quite a bit now. That pass happened recently. We'll keep watching this fight, but I want to mention these power rankings before we go too much farther. Dalton Tucker on top. He did lose technically some points in all of this. Josh Conover holds steady in 2nd. Look at Vincent Arthur up to 3rd. Those couple of wins recently have really boosted his stock. Brian Jones drops slightly, but stays up there with those guys at the front. And Hunter Sr. got a whole lot closer. He had a great race last week. Jacob Malone, Chase Durheim. Malone has just not been here lately. Not here again tonight. Durheim in the 7th spot, though. I mean, it's Chase Durheim. He almost led the most laps last week. Led 72 of them. Vincent Arthur led 73, and it was that last one that mattered most, not just for that stat, but of course that was how Vincent won the race. So Chase is on the rise again. You see Ryan Housden down a little bit to 8th, but I mean, I know the graphic gets cut off at 10, so you think, oh, well, if you're 10th, you're not that great, right? And that's just not how it is. All right, that's just not how power rankings work. So there is a full power ranking of the entire field. These are just the top 10. Maybe later in the season we'll show maybe top 20 or something, but for now, these are your top 10. Blade Timmons making it onto this list, although he is not here this evening in the 29 car. And here comes Kevin Baumler, a move on Brian Jones.
Side big send into 3. Clears Brian Jones, slips up the racetrack just a tad.
Oh, pit stop.
Oh my.
Jones is coming in.
Now right here, gets it woed up nice and easy. Pit road speed all the way down. This is an interesting move out of Brian Jones. Was not expecting him to be the first one into the pit lane, but here he is. Now the question remains, what is he going to do? Is he going to take 2 tires, go for 4, just fill it up? I would assume he'd go right for 4 right here.
I don't know why he's...
Hey, you see, right
pitting.
side's up. Maybe he knows something we don't. Yeah, 4 tires all the way around for the 45. He's definitely going to lose some time here. Out of the box. Should be about 2 laps down by the time he rejoins the track. There the rest of the field is, and here comes Christenberry.
I'm slightly perplexed by this. So, doing the math in my head, we have 120 to go. You can go about 110 on 2 runs. So you're still short of making it to the end on... Which actually... Sorry, I'm literally the numbers in front of the face meme. These guys, if they actually go to about 60 laps complete on this run, so if they go to lap 74 or so, they actually are good. I had the math mistaken. They would be good on one more stop to the end. I really hope Brian is not listening and did his fuel strategy based on me, because I was wrong as, oh, the 42. Elijah Mopin is down in the infield here. That is not the course we're running right now, Elijah. He had a great run in the Legends a little bit ago. That is not the course we're running currently.
He's going to be pulling it back down into the pit lane this time to get that damage fixed and make his scheduled stop, I'm assuming.
Just got loose off the corner, tried to save it. You know what, props to him, though, for wrestling it down onto the apron and not coming to a stop on the racetrack. You see how many cars are going on by as this is happening. That's the leaders right there. So, well, I see Shed Troll out there. That's the course we were on with Legends a little bit ago. We were supposed to broadcast it, just had a couple of things come up. And so, yeah, I mean, it's like he was taking the entry there to the hairpin for the road course that we were on in Legends a little bit ago. I'd love to see stock cars on it one day, but I guess one day. As, yeah, Zach, I think I had those numbers wrong. I wonder if I was thinking 45 instead of 54. Huh. I mean, frankly, you get to lap 70, you are golden. One more stop to the end. Maybe go over insurance, 74 or something like that, but these guys, even if they're at the extent of their fuel now, will be able to come in this lap, the next lap, maybe lap after. They're at 53 laps completed. So this should actually math out nicely for these drivers. I will eat my words from a bit ago when I was wrong about the fuel strategy to the end of this race.
Wrong about fuel strategy?
That happens. That happens.
Well, as they run now, Durhan continues to lead over Conover, Baumler Sr., and Vincent Arthur, who's worked his way back up into the 5th spot. Now that the fuel strategy is a little different than what we were expecting, when do we expect these guys in the top 5 to start making their stops?
That's what I was saying. About 70 to 74.
See, though, this is going to be so out of character for me, but why not pit a little early? Why not short pit this first run, gauge where you're at, and see what you can do moving into the next run? And I don't mean this for someone like Durheim. I mean this for like Conover, Baumler, as they are 4 wide. Oh my goodness.
I'll tell you what, I'll bite as we watch Dalton Tucker racing with Ronnie Norman and Brady Motes here trying to pass up the 5 of Caden Henry Oaks, who is lapped. I'll bite, though, on that. Why do you not want to come in sooner? Because extra laps is insurance. So technically, they're about good from here if they are absolutely super disciplined on fuel. They could pit one more time after this and be good to the end. But more laps is insurance. You want to run those laps. So as I was saying a few minutes ago, and here we go, Josh Conover comes in. You are theoretically good from here on one more stop, but the more laps you run, the less you have to save. So if you can go to 58 complete on this run, 59 complete, you are helping yourself out later in this race if we do go green all the way. Now, I think there's a pretty low likelihood that we go green the rest of the way in this race, but you still have to account for it at this point in time. And it also goes back to what Josh Conover has talked about recently as well, as Kevin Baumler will take the race lead away as Durham pits here. If you run this race in reverse, and that's what I'm talking about when, you know, trying to make sure you're good on one more stop to the end, that kind of thing. Run this race in reverse. Take 180. Subtract, we'll say 55 even, to make it a nice, you know, a nicer number. 55 from that, you are at 125. Take another 55 away. You are at 70. So, theoretically, this is where these guys are now good to the end. But you might not have the fuel to go farther. If you can go farther, awesome. That's less you have to save, more you can just go and not think about fuel. And we're seeing that for some drivers as we have a caution. It is not Coulter Clark, it is Nathan Anderson.
And he's going to go. That I was going to start talking about. It just happened. Yeah,
and he goes backwards here to get to the pit lane. Anderson, problems there in the 41. Caution is out, all right, as pit stops get going. The drivers will not be appreciative of that. Anderson had been on the racetrack for 7 laps since his most recent stop. Up the racetrack, had some newer tires and just got loose, shut it down. Oh, you're kidding me. Caden Henry Oaks, nowhere to go. I mean, just absolutely nowhere for Caden to go here. He tried to lock it down. Nothing he could do. Well, this gets us... this really does not change the pit strategy picture much. They're still going to have to make one more stop. But this does at least change when they're coming in, for the most part, for the rest of these guys. If you got to this caution, congratulations. You're going to have a little more fuel, and you're not a lap down. The drivers that just pitted have to rely on a wave around here. Several of them will be doing. There you see Josh Conover and Ronnie Norman and Cody Anderson and Ryan Housden. Yeah, not ideal. I will say Chase Durham, at least, is the lucky one out of this. He gets the lucky dog. The problem, Zach, is he will have to tag the back end of the field as well. So it's a blessing and a curse. What do you say, though? We dial up the driver of the 24 who will benefit from this whole situation. He works off the pit lane now. And let's go ahead and bring in driver 24, Vincent Arthur, who we hope to talk to earlier. And Vincent, I guess we're breaking some bad news. Was it speeding?
Yeah, I thought I gave it back, but apparently I did not.
Well, I guess it's a small price to pay for a win on Saturday night. How'd Tri-County go?
Yeah, that was... I mean, by far the fastest car I've ever driven. I mean, the PRW chassis guys put together like a bad fast piece. We rolled out off the truck and like I was on 120 lap tires and we made 4 laps and we were like, okay, to be able to run the speeds we were running, we knew we were going to be pretty good. So we, yeah, all in all, I mean, it was a fantastic event, just great experience. Had a bunch of the Harmony Biosciences people there and, you know, just to be able to win in front of them and you know, with my family there, it was just a really, really cool experience.
Getting a win on the local short track level. That said, Tri-County Motor Speedway is a racetrack that is gaining a lot more traction lately. I know we're about to restart. Have they delayed the green yet?
No, it seems like they're still, they just did, yes.
Perfect. Thank you, admins, for that. Because, I gotta ask, Vincent, I came out here when I was 18 with less than $2,000 in savings and a failing Chevrolet Blazer. Made things happen. I get to work in broadcasting now. I don't know your story, but you're working for Tricon. You're racing late models when you can in between. to somebody like me at 18, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, want to move cross-country and get into NASCAR and whatnot, you are living our dream. You're driving race cars, working at a race team, a competitive one at that. What would you tell somebody out there in the world that wants to do it but has no starting point, doesn't know what to do, just wants to get into racing?
Honestly, just find a route to North Carolina. For me, it was going to school to get an engineering degree at University of North Carolina at Charlotte. But I know for some people it's just packing up and moving down here. The racing industry, like, all you got to do is just prove that you want to work and you want to be there, and opportunities will find you. So it's a tight-knit community, so as soon as you know one person, they definitely know somebody who can help you progress in your career. So the first step is just reaching out to somebody if you know them, and if not, just try to get into Charlotte and just try to start networking and building your connections.
Appreciate you. Best of luck.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'm going to back down to his team channel, as that is fantastic advice, by the way. I'm going to talk through the restart. Usually I don't. As you see, Kevin, Baumler, Hunter Sr., Dalton Tucker, your top three. Those cars in the bottom were lapped, and Baumler going for the lead already. Or rather, I think had the lead, but trying to defend it from Hunter Sr. But that was all great advice from Vincent Arthur. If you want to get into the sport, listen to that guy. He knows what he's talking about. It is about who you know a lot of the time, but also what you know and how well you can do things. As here we go, Zach, 78 complete, 102 to go. Vincent Arthur's got some work to do, along with all those guys who got trapped by the pit bug, we'll call it.
The pit bug.
Yeah, I don't know what else. I mean, they pitted, and then immediately caution came out. Rewrite their entire story for the day. I feel like in the real world, you're kind of, when you have just pitted and you get a caution right after, you're thankful. However, in iRacing, for whatever reason, I don't know why it's so different on the sim. I haven't figured it out quite yet. I'm sure we can quickly, but you don't want that to happen. You want to try and make it to the caution. You want to stay out until the caution comes out. When you have just pitted and you get stuck with that caution, it's the end of your day almost, or so it feels.
Yeah.
Also, look at these non-chasers up in the top 10 now. By virtue of all of that, Nick Hom, Rusty Rafferty, John Skavnicki. I feel like those three are like three different versions of the same guy in the best way. They're all cool dudes. They're fun to talk to. They're fun to have in the league. And they all kind of run right behind those elite drivers in the league. So when something like this happens, they're quick to take advantage of it and get up here. Even Matthew George in the 25, granted he's a lap down, never mind. But I feel like Hom, Rusty, Skavnicki, they're just three different versions of the same guy. In the best way possible. And here they are together. Please don't crash. They're trying.
They got a little close right there. Asking race car drivers not to crash is a very hard one to do.
Easier said than done.
I'll tell you. Pretty much.
Skavnicki a little loose there off of turn 4. Chase Durheim right behind. He's the first of those drivers who pitted before the caution came out. He's rolling the top side, trying to get into the top 10 here. I will say what I like about this series, and I've said it since February, is we're not stage racing. I will say it's going to be nice to get back to stage racing with WRL that begins next week at New Smyrna, as, Rusty Rafferty bodies Nick Hom up the racetrack. It's also been nice to get back to stage racing with full send on Wednesdays, but these guys just have to worry about lap 180. They're not worried about the laps in between as, Chase Durheim absolutely sends the 27 of Rusty Rafferty.
Did Rafferty get it back rolling?
I'm trying to find him here. He wasn't on my broadcast control. He did not. Well, comes to a stop, and then Christopher Heights also spins around. He seems to have damage. Rusty's car, I think, is clean. Aside from the rear bumper having a 16 imprinted on it. That's not ideal.
For a second there, I thought we were in under caution. but this definitely warranted one as Durheim slots back up, slots back down, lifts his rear tires up off the air, or up off the ground into the air. Look at Scavnicki.
Whoa! Holy cow! That was just not expected on so many levels. It already was not expected to see Chase Durheim dumping one of our guys. I'm sorry, Chase. And I think Chase is just trying to make use of these fast tires. He probably felt blocked there by Rusty. I think Rusty was trying to get out of the way. It's like when you're going down the aisle at the supermarket and somebody is opposing you, walking at you. As man, we'll get more replays of this. It's like when you're walking the same direction somebody is coming from, okay? And you kind of get stuck in that weird little shuffle of like, am I going to go left? You're going to go right? You know, what's going to happen here? That's what this looks like to me, because Rusty tries to get up and let Durheim have the bottom, and then Durheim goes up faster, and Rusty then tries to go back low, and yes, John Scavnicki, that is a fantastic miss, as then Coulter Clark, Rusty's teammate, comes in with the 2 on his bumper. But watch this from the 16's perspective really quick, and I want you to tell me if you see it as well. It's like, Chase comes down, so Rusty tries to get him the top, and then, you know, like in between, it's like this weird shuffle, and I think Chase felt blocked by that. And man, Scavnicki, what a miss.
That was an incredible miss by Scavnicki. That is my nomination for Murda's Esports Murda's Mega Miss of the
Absolutely.
race.
Graphic up.
I don't know. I feel like Durheim thought there was some excessive blocking, maybe, and he just kind of didn't feel bad about it. I heard somebody say they didn't really feel bad anymore over driver radio, but I can't confirm if it was Durheim or not. I have to go back and listen to it again.
I would think, honestly, that it might have been Rusty. But let's see what happened here with the 2 and the 72. Down into turn 1, right behind all of this. This
Probably
is the,
the same thing.
maybe. It might have been Chris were checking up and Coulter didn't quite get the memo. And that is, I mean, exactly what happened. Wow, yeah. Well, this puts us back under caution. It makes the rest of the race a whole lot easier as far as strategy goes. You see, we're already about to go back green, re-racked, restacked, and look at Kevin Baumler. It feels like this race has barely gotten started to me, Zach. I don't know about you, but Baumler's suddenly in a really good spot. He's been running well. Let's see what he's got here as we get back to the restart zone. Green flag, lap 87 in the books. Imagine if this is where Kevin Baumler finally gets that win, just 1 week removed from a catastrophic implosion of his day at Richmond, where he sat on the pole in the spring, had a good run going last week, led, I believe, the first lap even. Didn't even start on the pole last week, but led some laps. And just catastrophic ending to his day. Very, very early in the race. Made an overcorrection, slammed the outside wall. It was already going wrong before that, but got a whole lot worse. Regardless, this is a great run so far from Cavan. You look at the laps led for him today, 18. He's just going to keep stacking them up, it looks like.
Hey, stack the field, save your tires, let them burn their stuff up catching you.
Also, how about this 20 car?
Into the top 10.
For a moment, Coulter Clark points himself by. Problems! We have crashing. Nick Hom, one of them. I think, did I see Durheim involved in this maybe? I'm not sure, but Hom is destroyed.
That's a big hit right there. Wonder if he got hooked into the wall.
Hate to see this for Nick Hom. Recently had his own incident-related suspension. I say incident-related because it's how many he had over the season. The series does limit you. I think it's, you know, X amount of weeks or something like that. But had to serve a penalty and miss a race as a result of that. And this down the straightaway. Oh man, it's going to be out the bumper of Chase Durheim. Maybe no. No, it's not.
That's a heavy blow right there.
Cody Anderson faked down, and Hom ran right in the back of him.
Back that one up for me so I can see how that right front became disconnected.
Off the left rear.
Heavy contact.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like. Do you recall Magnus Anderson in the BRB Daytona race, season 5?
Yes,
It looks like that.
That is just so interesting. That shouldn't have happened.
No, I mean it should be a destroyed fender for sure. You know, if you want to get technical about what would have happened in the real world, the fender would have a big hole where the headlight should be,
And the
maybe
tire
more. Yeah,
the tire might have gone down.
You might cut the right front, but you're not disconnecting the right front, so you have nothing to steer. I mean, that's awful.
I mean, you could say the tire went down on that car, but it certainly like went more than just go down. And I don't know. That's such a freaky incident. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't use this reference. See, I can use it properly. If I had a nickel for every time I saw a wheel disconnect from slight contact, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
Yeah, pretty much. That's fair. A lot of cars staying out under this caution, but a lot also came in the previous yellow.
Did you not get the reference, man?
No, I do. I just want to talk about pit stops, where the top 6 are on 18-lap-old tires and fuel. Obviously, there have been caution laps there, but that's the last time they pitted. Then everybody else from 7th through 15th, so about 9 cars, maybe 8 cars, I'm not sure, some number of them, 9. They have all pitted 7 laps ago, and then a couple of others coming in this caution, Heights, Anderson, some of those guys, Henry Oaks also in the pit lane. This will be interesting. Going to have a lot of strategies at this point on the racetrack all at once. And anytime we see that, of course, we know it can get hectic for these drivers as the iRacing.com safety car leads us around. It's been in hurry-up mode all night long, I feel like. And here we are, once again, about to go back green. Mopin down underneath the leaders along with Cydrus. Anderson has parked it. Cottle has parked it. Nick Halm has now parked it. But Mopin and Cydrus continue on. Caden Henry Oaks as well. Here we go. Restart zone coming up. Kevin Baumler in control. Green flag once again. Elijah Mopin playing nicely, letting these leaders do their battling, but he is still there, and that is presenting some issues. But that's exactly how these restarts were back in 05, Zach. You'd try to make a move, there'd be a lap car there.
Yeah, so glad we have double foul restarts now. But you see Mopin all the way down here on the bottom as Vincent Arthur is going to try to make his way around him on that middle line. Look at Brady Motes. He's trying to make work down on that bottom line on the apron, as we've seen him all race long, trying to make it work. Look at him way down below that white line. Brian Jones, though, he has caught the 8 car. He is ripping through that middle line and making it work there side by side for a little bit of contact between the 45 and the 8.
I don't know about you, Zach, but sometimes I like watching battles from a car behind. I don't know
about you, but I like getting a gold star for actually doing some proper grammar.
Oh!
Thank you.
Silver's best I can do, but what a save from Vincent Arthur that time off of turn number 2. He easily could have been in the wall or another car. His car is evil right now. The 24 definitely. I think he's asking too much of the tires, frankly. I mean, we've gone through a couple of heat cycles now, and I think he's just trying to do a little too much with it at the moment. These guys behind him have better tires, and he's just kind of the cannon fodder of the first one to go down to the newer tires in the racetrack. So I think he's trying to get a little too much out of the tire right now. Just let the race come to you. He's good at that. I think you'll eventually kind of fall back into that sentiment, Zach. But sometimes as a race car driver, you catch yourself fighting a little too hard, a little too long, and then you realize, oh man, I've got another 30 laps ahead of me on these tires. That's going to suck.
Hey man, it is what it is. We just roll. That's how it be. If the tires be old, then we just be rolling. Of course, we'd be sliding, but we'd be rolling.
Oh!
Sliding.
Coulter
Everybody's
Clark.
sliding on the turn number 2.
It's like it's raining. Oh, Ryan Housden. Big switch up into turn 3. He got clear of Coulter Clark just to go to the apron. I don't know
Interesting move.
why he did that. Clark is going to have the spot on him now off of 4, but it was something to see, that's for sure, as these guys get single file for a brief moment. Moat's way down
Pretty
low,
Moats.
Arthur and Conover a little higher, Norman a little higher yet, and now Clark in what I would consider the preferred groove. And yeah, there goes
Housden.
Ryan Housden way on the
Mopin
inside
getting
getting
loose.
loose.
Everybody's just sliding off of turn number 2. I'm truly wondering if there's rain over there. We see some sliding through 3 and 4.
There's not a cloud in the sky. Oh, there's one off of turn 3. My bad. Over the cloud, over the trees way back there. Oh my gosh. Well, we're on lap
Andrew,
100.
storylines to look at as we roll through this race. You talked about it. What is going on with Dalton Tucker? I'll tell you what's going on with Dalton Tucker. He's up into the 3rd spot, and he is chasing down the 2nd spot of Hunter Sr. I told you, give it some time. Let him roll through the race. It usually starts coming to him as we roll through this thing, and here he is sitting in the 3rd spot.
Looking good. It was car 37 as he continues this whole little experiment of running completely on his own. Started the season in the number 3 car, and since then has switched things up. It was Michigan, the second race at Michigan a few weeks back, where he switched over to this 37 car and immediately picked up another win. Last couple of weeks, though, have been dry for car 37. It's been not as good of an end to August, that's for sure. We'll see if they can get things righted here tonight, though, as Conover and Arthur do some battle now. This is for position number 6. Remember, Conover's on better tires, Arthur's on older tires, but for having those newer tires, Conover, Norman, Clark, these guys have not made any penetration yet into the top 6. They simply have not been able to pass the cars on older tires. This is impressive that the guys on older are hanging on like this.
Oh, okay. I swore I heard something differently there. In regards to the tires. Ooh, talk about hanging on. Look at Conover. He's a little loose, falling back into single file. Coulter Clark way down on the bottom, sliding up, trying to make that work.
It's a lot of fun watching these guys on corner exit. They go all the way down, a couple of them, all the way down to the apron of the corner. When they come off the corner onto the straightaway, they just slot right back into those gaps seamlessly. Ronnie Norman, I really do wonder how he's going to do in this chase this season, Zach. Of course, you go back to 2005, and it's not... Look, we make these comparisons all the time of, like, how did this guy do in 05, or this car, rather. These guys aren't... A, it's not 2005 anymore. B, it's iRacing. C, these aren't the same drivers. I mean, there's plenty of reasons to say, it's a pointless thing to bring up, but it's fun to do anyways for us, because we get to relive our childhood. Anyways, obviously the 7 was Robbie Gordon back in 05, as it was for several years at that time. And he was getting in fights with Michael Waltrip in this race 21 years ago. He was not at all fighting for championships, as they're 3 wide off of turn 2. Watch out! That was close. Josh Conover falling back. Here comes Coulter Clark on the inside, playing spoiler right now. He gets his nose ahead of the 48. But the 7 is definitely an underdog in these 10 cars. I mean, he's not the only one, but he's an underdog even this season as far as his performance. Of course, he is the 10th seed, just kind of skated in, admittedly. He can run better than he was scored, I think, in the standings, and that's fair to say. At the same time, Zach, I would not put him on the same level as most of the drivers he's up against this season, at least as far as how he's performed. Maybe, as a straight-up overall driver rating, you could put him up there with the guys like Vincent Arthur and what, but just in this car, this season, I would not put him up there. I would put him probably 9th of the 10 drivers in the chase, only beating the 20 of Gladulich, and Gladulich is just so darn consistent, it's like he never finishes poorly.
Blaževic never finishes poorly?
I said it's like he never finishes poorly. He's always just, well, caution's out. Hang on, who is it for? Oh, Elijah Mopin, turn 2.
And that's some damage on the front end of that race car.
I had a bunch of it already, but yeah, my point is, you know, with Blaževic, he runs real quietly, kind of just keeps his car alive all day long, will stay out, lead a lap here and there, and then as you see Mopin's incident here off the corner, it just got spun around and ends up, I think, calling it a day, letting it hit the inside wall. Regardless, the point for Blaževic is he just kind of lurks in the shadows, and suddenly he's up there at the end of the race, you know, in the top 10 or whatever, having a good finish. But I expect pit lane to be very busy this time.
As do I, and looks like it's going to be Baumler's going to lead them all down into the pit lane. We've got one car staying out on the racetrack. That's Caden Henry Oaks. He's going to be followed by the 40.
And Caden's getting the lucky dog. The 40 of Cydrus will try to get the wave by. He is 7 laps down, trying to make it 6. And here we go, pit stops for everybody. I want to call out as well the 72 having a good day. Had some setbacks earlier in this race, got into it with heights as well recently, but I gotta say, Coulter Clark is looking really good as this race goes on. He's figuring out these cars as I figured he would. And here we go, race off the pit lane, longer stay for Baumler. First out is gonna be Alton Tucker, and Zach, that's a 4-tire stop for the 37.
That's a quick 4-tire stop for the 37. He is out and away. That is going to be huge. Tucker came in.
No, that's a 2-tire, right?
No, that's
a good 4-tire time in the new Cup car. I don't think this is. I think that's too fast for it to have been a 4-tire in this Cup car. Let's watch. Right side's first for the 37 and 33. That's 2 tires. I'm calling it now. Well, maybe not 33. Never mind. He gets lefts. But Tucker does not. That's 2 down and away. There he goes.
I can't imagine how well 2 tires is going to work out this late into the run.
The 33 comes out. Yeah, he did take 4, just behind Kevin Baumler, so I was mistaken there. But regardless, Tucker gets 2 here. Moats does as well. They both take 2. Everybody else took 4, it looks like. Cody Anderson back on the pit lane. He will leave. There's Caden Henry Oaks trying to nurse this car back to life. And then Elijah Mopin, I think, going to be in the pit lane for a little bit. Dakota Cydrus on the racetrack, 8 laps down. He actually pitted under this caution, so no wave around for him. He's actually going to pull up to the inside of our leaders here and be kind of by default the bane of their existence on this restart, just because, well, he is going to be that lapped car. Yes, here we go. Into the restart zone we will go. Cydrus gets down there. It's Dalton Tucker with the race lead. Green flag. How about 69 laps to go? Real nicely done there by Cydrus. He gets down out of the way, lets these guys all go by. So no harm, no foul there, no worries for these guys. They can run their race and not have to worry about that lap car. That was very nice of the 40 car to do, very kind, I should say, as here we go. The 8 and the 81, Kevin Baumler trying to get by his boss man of Brady Moats here to turns 1 and 2. Moats looking a little free.
Trying to stay in it down on the bottom line, and look at the run on the top side that Baumler gets. I think as the race has gone on, Andrew, that bottom line is not working as well as Brady would like for it to. Not as well as he would like it to anymore. There it is. It took me a minute, but I got them words out.
Meanwhile, real good battle now for 4th spot. Look at that. Look how close those two were. Ryan Jones, catch it. That was a little sketchy. And here comes Vincent Arthur now. These guys are all over the place. There's Ronnie Norman back in the fight. Brian Jones ahead. We're watching the 24 of Arthur. As we get these laps, did a big thank you to our partners with the series. Of course, well, caution's out. Christopher Heights on the outside wall. Well, there you see the logos at least. Harpoon Design, Sparks Builders, Dark Star Garage, and NORA. Huh. And there's Matthew George. I think this is just another case of the guys at the back having an issue on newer tires. Let's see what happened here. Lodgelich down low. I don't think that was any concern. Anderson there as well. George off of turn 2. Maybe checked up a little bit for Anderson, who did bobble off of turn 2, Zach. That's important. And then Heights just cleaned it out.
That's not the first time we've seen that tonight.
And Matthew George, I'd imagine, was not pleased. Especially from his perspective, Zach. You look at this and you realize, you know, he's lifting for Anderson ahead, who he really didn't have to. I think he was just trying to play it safe, because Anderson had that small bobble and then maybe roll out of the gas there a little bit. So George gave him plenty of room, and Heights, I think, might have just lost where they were on the racetrack, because I don't think he ever was going to make that corner at that kind of pace.
Did not look like it at that point. Not going down into 3.
Which happens, frankly. We ran Legends a little bit ago, and I decided to turn a couple laps with you guys. And, yeah, I mean, I was having trouble under the hairpin repeatedly. And it's like one lap I get it right, the next lap I just blew past the breaking point. So it does happen where these guys will just miss the breaking point, miss where they are on the racetrack, miss a reference. It's easy to do, so I don't fault anybody for it, but boy is it unfortunate when it impacts somebody that heavily. We'll see if these guys get the 1 to green signal here. I'd imagine they will. And yes, they do. With that in mind, Zach, how about we look at what's upcoming for Pit Stop TV, the next couple of broadcasts, and here we go. Why don't you walk us through this?
Well, tomorrow we've got... No, hold on. Tomorrow's Tuesday. I'm getting my days mixed up. Wednesday, we have got some great races in the Full Send Cup Series. Head into the high banks of Daytona. And then rolling out of there, the next day, we've got NARL. And Le Mans. Oh, that is Le Mans. Yeah, no, that's a fun track to go to. And then following that, it is the first race, the first ever race for the Whiplash Racing League National Series. It's a non-points paying event. It is the Clash. Hold on. The
Clash of the Beach.
What you called it. Thank you. The Clash of the Beach at New Smyrna in the O'Reilly Series cars. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a precursor to some great season-long racing coming up. And we are getting into the early stages of the postseason here as the green flag is back out at New Hampshire. Dalton Tucker leads him down into turn number 1. We've still got 63 laps to go.
Cody Anderson or Dakota Sidrus, don't know why. They both just hit the pit lane again, and they are making stops in the box. Not sure what's going on for those couple of cars, but 62 laps to go once we get back to the stripe. Nobody good on fuel from here, so very few pit stops under that yellow. Dalton Tucker, though, out front at New Hampshire, just what everybody wanted to see, right?
I think so.
No. This league does not want to see the 37 out front.
Well, he's the points leader.
8 wins this season. Oh, Hunter Sr. off of turn number 2, spun around, is the 33. And he has got trouble. The car looks okay. I do believe it may have been Brian Jones that tagged him as he got loose. I do believe Hunter just got loose on his own off the corner. We'll get a look at it here. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Check this out. Hunter Sr. off of turn 2, a little free already. You see a little bit of slip angle in the car. Loose, boom. Might have saved it, but yeah, Jones tags him as I'm sure Hunter was probably rolling out of the gas to save the car. Unfortunate.
Very much so. He was having a really good run. Now he's a little bit further down the running order than he'd like to be. This is on board with Brian Jones. Rolling through the center of the corner, you can see just how loose Hunter Sr. was, and then just a little tap sends him around. Contact with the right rear to the front bumper.
So caution once again for these drivers as they are now inside of 60 to go, but not yet into the fuel window. That said, this could be one heck of a spot if you want to take a risk. Go ahead and pit now, bank on a caution coming out. If it comes out soon, you might look like a genius. You only need a couple of cautions to save enough gas here to go from here to the end. So 1 or 2 yellows, maybe stay a little bit under green too. I mean, you could absolutely take that risk. It's a risk by definition, but if it pays off, you could look real smart. And you know what? If it doesn't pay off, you still have to pit one more time anyway. It's just like everybody else currently. You've got enough tires. I do think, especially as we get into the chase here, Zach, well, let's go ahead and look at the schedule for the first time tonight. I want to see these guys taking more risks like that. All right, no, you're not good yet to the end on gas, but you could be. If there's a caution soon, you could be. You've got to take that risk. Get that track position.
You won't have enough for a green-white checkered, I can tell you that.
But if we get a caution or two in this run, save enough gas, if it comes out early enough, your tires are just as good as the guys that be pitting right after you. I mean, it's a risk, but if you're already towards the back, you may as well. There's 10 sets of tires. Grab one. There you see.
What if I don't want to grab one?
Well, then, I mean, that's on you. But there's the schedule. The rest of the season is in the yellow and orange. New Hampshire here this evening. Next week we're off. It'll be Labor Day proper, so the league will take a week reprieve and then come back at Rockingham. Then Talladega, Kansas, Charlotte, Martinsville, Atlanta one more time, Texas again, Phoenix again, and Miami to close things out.
Cool, I cannot have to worry about driving home from Darlington.
Here we are into the restart zone once again. Let's watch this one from the fan cams. Green flag on the way, just inside of 60 to go. Call it 58 at the stripe. Dalton Tucker, green flag. Three lapped cars in that restart, Zach. They were as follows: Cody Anderson, Dakota Sidrus, Elijah Mopin. Not in that order, though. Anderson got stuck behind the other two, and I definitely do not think he appreciated that from iRacing all that much, but one lap complete off the restart. I gotta say, too, this performance out of Brady tonight is really making me disappointed. Oh, never mind! Brady Mose, Hardy outside wall! Oh my gosh!
Why? Andrew, you should know better at this point.
I refuse to pay any fabrication bills. I was just thinking, look at him playing spoiler to the Chasers. I wish we could have seen him run for a championship this season. Clearly it would have been a good thing, and then off of turn 2, literally the exact moment. Let's go back and take a look at what just happened to driver number 8. That was a painful one.
For you or for him?
Yes. Vincent Arthur roughing up Ryan Jones a little bit into the corner there. Moats just on the transition back up onto the banking, got loose, overcorrected, bam, outside wall, takes the 45 with him. And that's huge for Ryan Jones' season. This easily could have been a race that he won. I mean, you saw how good he was earlier in the race. He was still top 5 here. The 45 absolutely was a threat to win this race, and suddenly now, I don't think that'll be the case anymore.
And this is the thing that you have to take into consideration when it comes to NASCAR racing. This is not like any other type of sport where the playoff teams play against the playoff teams. You have people who are not included in the points season racing against guys who are in the postseason. There's nothing that you can do about that. They've paid their dues. They've paid to be here. They have the right to be on the racetrack, and they have the right to go for the win. You're running for your championship, and what? No, don't put words in my mouth, Andrew.
I was just trying to say you see him staying in the pit lane a little bit longer.
Oh, I thought you were saying like, oh, so you're saying something. And I'm like, wait a minute.
No. But he is taking those repairs, Brian Jones. Now over a minute in the pit lane, about 40 seconds in the box so far. He is not rolling yet. Not rolling yet. Now he's rolling. Cody Anderson going to roll as well, and then Brady Moat still in the pit lane. He is going to go ahead and take all of that damage, it looks like. Kevin Baumler, Jake Christenberry, Matthew George all stay out, and I Gotta say, I vehemently disagree with it. Everybody, well, actually, they're not the only ones. Hunter Sr., John Skavnicki, Rusty Rafferty, Caden Henry Oaks, Christopher Heights. I guess, well, they're probably doing exactly what I said to do last caution, so I'll support that. But I vehemently disagree with what the top 3 did here. Baumler, Christenberry, George, they've all just pitted, and they are not good to the end on... Or, sorry, they just stayed out. They're not good to the end on fuel. Everybody else just pitted. That's what I was trying to say. So Vincent Arthur, the first one on tires, he's got 2. Vincent Arthur as well. Ronnie Norman, a bunch of 2 tires here. The first car on 4 tires, it'll be Dalton Tucker, followed by Coulter Clark and Jacob Gladgelich. Into the restart zone this time. Kevin Baumler back on point here at New Hampshire. What can he do? Can he finally get this win? Is it going to happen? 53 to go. Let's find out. Baumler still out front, 1 lap in from the restart. You see Elijah Mopin trying to stay down out of the way of these guys as they get their run in. Mopin down 15 laps, but wants to stay in this race as long as he can. I admire that. Same with Siders, 11 laps down, and Brady Modes is now 3 laps down. I'm not sure if he's getting back on the racetrack or not. Here we go. Hunter Sr. down to the bottom of Matthew George into turn number 3. John Skavnicki, Rusty Rafferty, all these guys right behind. Caden Henry Oaks back in the top 10. What can he do?
Ooh, Vincent Arthur almost tipped the 5 car around off turn 4. Got
he hit him there!
Boy!
Caden gets into Rusty.
Contact.
Yeah, the 24 gave the 5 the boot that time into turn 1. Vincent trying to make hay rather.
He got loose. He got really loose right there.
These guys are being aggressive. They've got to be. This is the beginning of the run of the championship. You see Arthur, Conover, Durheim all get that. They're trying to get through this field as quickly as possible as Baumler gets away.
Christenberry goes with him, too.
I get the desperation. I get why they're driving so desperately, but at the same time, Zach, it's 50 to go still. You got to pace yourself. Even if this thing goes green from here, you've got to make sure you're still in it in 50 more laps. You can't get in a bad spot. You can't tear these tires up even. You've got to make sure you get the rest of the way. So, sure, these restarts are important as Arthur gets up into Rafferty. There they go, the 16, the 5, the 37. Big crash. Mopin, Heights, and more.
Well, there goes Fantasy Live out the window. Sayonara. See you next week, ladies and gentlemen.
And Caden Henry Oaks has got to be thinking, man, what do I have to do? Christopher Heights, too, is just back there on his own. Elijah Mopin's going to be wondering why. Why me? Chase Durheim, he's got a ton of damage. He was one of the championship favorites, in my opinion. We should have done a column or something on that. Brian Jones, I think, missed this incident, but there's Rusty Rafferty. Let's get a look back at what happened under this yellow, or rather to cause this yellow. This is a full lap prior. You see the 27, the 24. This is where this is going to start. Arthur way down on the apron. Just watch this for a little bit of context. And you see Arthur gets loose. They are trying desperately to get around these guys. Even Rafferty got the wall there off the corner. This is down into turn 3. And then here off of turn 4. Arthur gassed up, trying to kind of bully Rafferty out of the spot, and then I think Durheim and Henry Oaks had their own issue. I don't think this would have been a caution if not for the incident behind the 27 and 24. So watch this again. Arthur's going to gas up early right here, hoping to just clear and kind of bully, clear himself off the 27, ends up pushing Rafferty in the wall pretty hard, and that might have been what saved Rafferty from being involved in this as... Oh my gosh, Mopin about straight-lined the 5 in his attempt at avoiding, and unfortunately, that ends up collecting the 2 as well. What even happens here between Henry Oaks and Durham? I still am not sure.
contact up there between Arthur and Rafferty.
Caden cut the wheel short to miss Rafferty on the top side, and Durheim could not see that, I don't think. We've got a good camera for that. Here we go. Let's go right to it. Driver's side POV for Chase Durheim. So Caden in the 5 is going to check up here. Well, not really even check up, but check the steering. He's going to hold the car down lower. And yeah, Durheim's not ready for that. So Durheim gets in the wall pretty hard. That's a lot of damage for him. And you see that 42, he kind of straight lined the 5 and then did not hold the brake. There's Elijah Mopin. Unfortunately, yeah, he a little bit late to the brakes, ends up right in the 5 car, and boom, back up the racetrack, didn't get the brakes locked down in time, and Heights had nowhere to go.
Well, from the looks of it, Race Control has deemed that one on Vincent Arthur, and he will get the EOL.
I mean, you look at the whole story, Caden is checking his steering to miss the 5, or the 27 rather. He is the 5. So he's checking his steering to miss the 27, and so that ends up putting him down into the 16. And so here we go, restart on the way this time, 45 to go. You look at the whole incident, and I don't necessarily disagree. That green though, 45 to go that time by. Under that caution, Gladgelich, Durheim, Tucker, Rafferty, Jones, Henry Oaks, Heights, and Moats pitted. Moats back on the racetrack, now 9 laps down. But Zach, that means our entire top 11 are still on old tires. A lot of them should be good at the end. I don't know how many. This is going to be interesting to watch play out, though. Look at that group from far away. Other end of the racetrack. Look at them race to us. 3 wide, there's Arthur at the bottom, Senior up top, Conover in the middle.
The Senior just trying to hang on. A little tap to the wall. That's going to give the advantage to Arthur. Down into turn 1. Slides up a little bit into Hunter Senior. Still makes it work, just about. Almost got contact off the nose of Josh Conover.
Saw how close Ronnie Norman got to the outside wall there off of turn 2. He is right behind this battle.
More contact between Arthur and Senior. Oh, they're really getting up on each other. Matthew George is getting involved in this. They were 3 wide. Senior is going to go backwards. Conover is going to go through. Coulter Clark is going to take advantage of the situation as well and put that 72 car up in to the top, or at least go for the top 5, side by side still with Hunter Senior. This is really shaping up to be an interesting situation for all of these guys just in the top 10. Here comes Houston on the bottom.
What I think happened a lap ago there, Zach, was Arthur was trying to use George as a pick, and Hunter Senior was having none of it. He was trying to, get his way down to the middle lane. I think these guys have got it for now. Let's go back and look at it. I really want to show this off. I read it as it was happening, kind of seeing what was, going on in these guys' minds a little bit. So when they come off of turn 4 here, watch the 24 and the 33, trying to pass the 25. You got the 38 down low. That's Skavnicki. And Senior gets into the 25 there briefly, then tries to get down underneath. And Arthur was not trying to let that happen. He was trying to use George as a pick and hold that 33 up. I just think Vincent Arthur is being cutthroat tonight. And I mean, that's how racing is. You've got to be that way, I think, to win these championships, let alone these races. I think Vincent was just trying to use one of the oldest tricks in the book, using the slower car as a pick, and especially when it's your teammate. Keep that in mind. He can talk with George and say, hey, hold him up, please. I'm trying to go by. I need him to go behind me. And especially if you pair that with the incident between Arthur and Rafferty, I think that definitely is at least in the vein of what was going on. As now Josh Conover looks down to the inside of John Skavnicki. This is for 4th position. slider, if you will, out of Conover. And here comes the 33 car on the inside.
Down into one. Way down to the bottom into one. Look at Coulter Clark trying to take a peek on Ronnie Norman, but Norman's got to the outside of Hunter Sr. So trying to pivot himself around the 33 car as Housden looks on with Coulter Clark trying to make the move stick. It's not going to happen this time around. They're all going to get single file up off of 4. No real side-by-side battles now then. We see them get caught up and wadded up in the corner side-by-side, but as they roll on exit, no real side-by-side battles at all. I say that, and Housen's trying as Anderson's in the wall, and Tucker is going to take a move to the inside.
And you know, it's got to just be on their minds every time these two race each other, right? Like, Anderson got put in this car because Tucker left it. Tucker left the car and now passes it up. It's got to be satisfying for Dalton to pass that car every single time, and I can only imagine what Cody's left to think as he gets passed by the old driver of that car.
How many wins again does DEI have without Dalton Tucker?
1. It was Brock Morris at Watkins Glen.
Well, it all could change with Kevin Baumler leading the race.
This is fair. I look here at Gladulich and Jones deep in the field. Of course, Jones nursing that damage from the incident with Brady Moats, who, by the way, has parked the car again a few laps ago. And up at the front, you mentioned Calvin Baumler. There he is. Out ahead over Jake Christenberry by about 2 seconds at this point. He's got a very, very strong lead. There you see Christenberry. There you see Arthur, then Conover, and then John Skavnicki battling with Hunter Sr. This is for position number 5. Coulter Clark is in that. Dalton Tucker's right behind it, as is Ryan Housden, 15 car. We talked to him pre-race. He's looking like he might have something here. Is there 3 wide off of turn number 2? Coulter Clark looking down low. He's going to go basement to attic. He's getting a little erratic here, I'm not going to lie.
Well, he had to check up earlier because he rolled up on Skavnicki a lot faster than he thought he would, so Housden jumped back to the bottom.
Yeah, we saw them do kind of a reverse of that earlier, if you recall. These guys have just been crazy tonight. And, you know, I went back and, again, I was watching highlights, at least, of that 05 race here in the fall, the first chase race. And, you know, we had chasers in trouble early. We had, actually, that was the race where we saw Casey Kane and Kyle Busch get into it. Busch just got him off of the corner, and Casey went and intentionally hit him and actually got parked by NASCAR. Not that the car was going to go very far afterwards. The right rear was not making contact with the ground anymore, as the left rear was. That was a bent chassis that probably lies somewhere on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s property. Regardless, we saw multiple paybacks, because then we also had the driver of the 7, Robbie Gordon, get out of his car and throw his helmet at Michael Waltrip after they had a skirmish out of turn 2 later in the race. I mean, it was just a wild day as far as aggression and paybacks went, and seeing guys literally try to throw hands with race cars. We're not seeing that obviously today, but we have seen a few more incidents than I think is usual for this league. Look at the cautions, 11 for 29, and I think we did better than that at Richmond a week ago. Oh, that was not good for Gladulich off of turn 2. He's going to slip back down to 15th spot as Matthew George looks up at Rusty Rafferty and Brian Jones. There you see, Zach, as we hit 30 laps to go. 11 cautions tonight for 29 laps. Imagine when we get back to the stripe here, if every lap to the end was under caution. That's how many caution laps we've had tonight, which is a lot for this league. That is a lot for these guys. We usually see a lot of green flag racing, green flag pit stops, all that. Tonight, not so much. As also, Baumler, 3 seconds up now on Christenberry, and I don't see Arthur just getting by this 11 car super easily.
Andrew, when it comes to cautions, I don't want to hear you talk about cautions like the rest of the night. Honestly, your track record tonight has shown that every time you start talking about cautions, we get a caution.
You never know. And I don't know.
And based off the statistical data, we do know.
Well, we don't know how long the top two can go. I mentioned they pitted so much earlier and stayed out, and I did not like their move. The other driver that stayed out with them, I think, is actually pitted now. I don't recall who it was. I think it was George, actually, and he has since pitted. So Baumler and Christenberry, like I said before, I don't like their move to have stayed out when they did. I don't know how long they can go on fuel, as Arthur is about to pass up the 11 car finally, it looks like, inside of 30 to go. I think Baumler is going to be short. Now, this is a racetrack where you can do a lot of saving. You do have a bit of a braking zone and plenty of time off throttle, but I just don't know how effective that's going to be. That's a lot to do with your feet, as you've learned lately.
Look, man, my right foot hurts. That's all I can say.
So here's the telemetry from Baumler. There is not a clutch in. He's not actively saving. Which could mean a couple of things. That could mean he's confident he's got enough for the end, or it means he knows he doesn't, and there's no point in saving. He's too far gone. He's just got to run it out and see what he can get out of it. It could literally be either one. And for that reason, I'm afraid to do driver of the day just yet, because we don't know if the 81 or 11 will make it to the end yet. Everybody else should be good, theoretically. I mean, 25 from here, they've run 29, so yeah, that adds up to 54, 55, thereabouts. So they should all be good to the end. But Christenberry and Baumler, I think, are going to have to pit again. And Hunter Sr. might even be in that spot. He pitted 5 laps earlier. There were the cautions. He should be able to save. But, Zach, we're going to learn a lot in a very short amount of time.
That we are. Just over 20 laps to go in this race. There you see Baumler catching some lap cars. Just wait, and there is Vincent Arthur, Josh Conover, Christenberry, and Senior, and the rest of the field rolling on by. Look at the lead that he's got. First car in line, second, third in line, here's Baumler. There they all are off of turn number 2, down the back straightaway, finally into 3. That's what a 4.5 second lead looks like right there.
Definitely a big chunk of racetrack. You see it again here. I am curious. And I'm going to look here at lap times, the last lap for our top 4 drivers, as Arthur starts to cut into the lead of Calvin Baumler. 4.5 seconds, I believe, or maybe 5 at its peak. But Baumler, last lap of 31.177, for Arthur, 31.304. Let's see what it is this time. Baumler, 31.4. Arthur, a 31.3, so made a 10th up there after losing a few tenths the lap prior, did Vincent Arthur. So Conover and Senior kind of the same area. I'm curious what this lap has in store. I think Cavitt just really got this track figured out. So there's the lap out of Baumler, 31.267, so he picked back up. Arthur, 31.3, so yeah, Baumler is still faster even on the older tires by 15 laps. That's decently impressive for Cavitt, especially this late in the run. The question for him is not pace, it's fuel. Does he have enough to go to the end?
Time will tell in these next 20 laps. I'm sure Baumler doesn't want to let this one slip away.
No, it's been a whole season just trying to finally get something in the win column for DEI, and I find it difficult to even recognize Brock Morris's Watkins Glen win as a win for the team, because that is not one of their points drivers that was subbing for Brady Motes, who was away on baby duty. I don't really even count that for these guys. It wasn't one of their drivers, it was a sub. So in the world of sim racing, where you're not, taking the car back to the shop and working on it all week, massaging the body, working on the chassis, trying to find rule exploits and all of that. This is not real NASCAR. These guys log into iRacing, they log into the service, and they've all got the same machinery. Doesn't matter what badge is on it even. So in that kind of world, I mean, I don't count that as a team victory. It comes down to the driver, to me, and the guys that are here for points, Baumler, Motes, Housden, completely winless this year. Christenberry is in, and this is a good gauge. So this is just about on par, 52 laps complete, with the amount of fuel, the range that we were told these guys had. Baumler, I'm sure, can go to about 60 or so, but I don't know that he can go the rest of the way to the end of this race. That said, Zach, he's got to stay on the racetrack as long as he can. At the same time, though, you've got 4.5 seconds. Put the dang clutch in.
We don't clutch around here, man. What are you talking about?
You don't, because your pedals don't work.
Look, whoa, okay, that's a low blow. That's a low blow.
Well,
I can still map the clutch to my wheel, man.
I guess you do clutch, because you clutch to go, which, anyways.
That's such a low blow.
What, am I wrong?
Hey, at least my wheel works and I can actually see my shift lights.
Well, here comes Ron Housden, not to the pit lane. He was looking like it for a second with how low he was in the racetrack. Dalton Tucker right behind, and we're seeing kind of how this race is playing out for the other drivers that we know are good on gas. Arthur, Conover, Norman, your top three of those drivers. Then it's Housden, Senior, and Tucker right behind, wondering if they can get there. And, Coulter Clark off the corner. He's a little free, but he's got the spot right behind the Chasers. He's 8th. And Scav, Nicky, and Anderson complete your top 10, and that's a battle, too. Oh.
A little bit of contact.
Kevin Baumler still leading here at New Hampshire. There he is into turn 3. He is gaining on the cars behind. It is criminal if he's not saving gas. If he does not have enough to go to the end, this is a complete mismanagement of this race. I'm sorry. I really hope he does. I really want to see him win one of these things. But the opportunity that's been granted, at least just to stretch it out and try to wait on a last-minute caution. If he's not saving anything, if he's... man, you're clear by nearly 5 seconds over some of the best in the league. Put the clutch in. But if he's good, obviously, then you don't got to worry about the clutch. I just don't think he is. We're being told, by the way, through Nick Geilis, that the 48 and 24 believe they are good to the end, as John Skavnicki is slow. He's got problems in the 38 car. Big damage. That was a near caution.
Damage.
That's a near caution that could have helped these guys.
I was going to say, I heard something go on. I didn't know what it was, but I heard something.
So here's Skavnicki in the 38. We talked to him at Richmond. He joined us for the pre-race show a little bit. Countdown to green. Here it is off the corner. Trying to clear up. Heights was still there, and oh man. Great dodge by Jones and Rafferty, unfortunately for John Skavnicki. That is effectively day done at this rate. It's a lot of damage. Kevin Baumler, 11 laps to go this time by. What do you think, Zach? Do you think he's got enough? Now, I don't want any kind of... I don't want to cop out. You think 5 laps short?
I think he's 5 laps short.
I want to see someone do one of those charts of, where all of these guys would have finished if it was just on pace alone, like they do for the NASCAR races on X. I want to see that. Because Baumler has been gaining on these guys, seemingly inexplicably. He's got older tires. He might be out of gas soon. This is now 62 laps for him on this run. And he just keeps on going. 10 laps to go that time by. Zach, unfortunately, I don't think we can wait any longer. Driver of the day, who you got?
I think I'm going to take the pretty obvious pick right now, and that's Kevin Baumler. He's done a phenomenal job, and he's still searching for that first-
Wow.
Man.
10 laps short. Man, I'm sorry. You just pitted from the lead with 5 seconds back to Vincent Arthur, who's won the last 2 races. How you were not clutching with a 5-second lead, I don't... Kevin's going to hate me.
Man, I'm still picking him for driver of the day, though. He's done a good job. He definitely deserves that driver of the day. The win is coming. It may not happen now, but it's coming.
It's not happening today. I mean, he's going to be the driver with most laps led, and I can't get my mind around that one. Well, I guess I get it to take this guy. He just led his first laps of the race. I mean, I picked him to win the race, both in fantasy and here on the broadcast. I'm going to go ahead and grab Vincent Arthur. I kind of just jumped in there ahead of your second pick. Who you got?
Clark. I think Coulter's done a really good job so far today. He's up 19 positions from his starting spot, and he's running inside the top 10. I think this has been a phenomenal job by this 72 car. With it being, if I'm not mistaken, this is his first start.
It is.
Yeah, great job out of Coulter Clark.
Looking at this graphic, I would be inclined to go with Rusty Rafferty, but I don't want to nominate just 2 of our friends and two of our drivers here. That's 72 and 27. But I will give Rusty his time on the broadcast here, and props for doing it. But I am going to go elsewhere for my second pick, and I'm actually going to go with the driver who runs third now, Ronnie Norman. He's got Ryan Housden out the mirror, so it's still a battle heads up for this third spot, but props to Ronnie Norman. I've been kind of playing up this whole thing of like he just made it into the chase, this and that and the other. Clearly, he didn't just make it in. He meant business when he signed into New Hampshire tonight. Third place, no, he hasn't led a bunch of laps or anything, and he hasn't necessarily broken any records or anything tonight, but he's just having a good points night. And we need to revive that term, because even with NASCAR going back to the chase format, Zach, that is going to be the talk of the next 10 weeks, even in the NASCAR Cup Series. A good points day. That's what this is for Ronnie Norman. He's dead last in the chase coming into tonight. Needs to get these points. And here we go, Matthew George into the pit lane as well. He was also short. And it's still a battle for the win, by the way. Teammates, they are not far apart. It might not be Martinsville. 24 and 48 going after it on a paperclip style racetrack. It's just a half mile larger.
Like Martinsville. Was that debris? Who is that down in turn number 3 all the way down in the grass?
Dakota Siders on the road
I saw
course.
debris going down into 3. I was wondering what that was.
Here he is into turn 1. You see the right front has got some damage on this 40. We're 3 laps to go, by the way, but let's see what happened here really quick. Slow off of 2. And I think he's trying to get down out of the way, and he just turned left. I mean, that's really not okay.
So Christenberry with no front bumper now.
Yeah, that's not good. That is not good. I'm sorry. Battle for the win, though. Let's hype this up. Zach, 2 to go. And teammates, bumper to bumper on the apron. Josh Conover.
First time we've seen this.
Yeah, and Josh Conover's been watching his teammate Vincent Arthur the last couple of weeks go and get these wins. He would like to start matching it. He's got 2 himself, but Arthur is now ahead. It's white flag this time by Can Josh get there?
White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. Presented by Whiplash Simcams. The 48 and the 24 are going at it once more this time this season, Andrew. We've been seeing it the last few races. We're going to see it again. Down the back straightaway they go. Is Conover going to have something for the 24? I don't think so.
Final corner at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Josh Conover buries it into the corner, but Vincent buried it deeper. Off the corner, what's it going to be? To the stripe. Drag race between them, and it will still be Vincent Arthur across the line. He gets it done 3 in a row. 4 on the season. Vincent Arthur in New Hampshire Motor Speedway, victory lane. Wow. There's going to be a lot to talk about after this race. Into the line there, Jones and Rafferty for 9th and 10th. Last couple of cars will come around. I got to say, props still to Kevin Baumler. It's a lead lap finish, 12th position. But Vincent Arthur gets it done at New Hampshire. He got the win at Tri-County Motor Speedway on Saturday night in Hudson, North Carolina in a real late model. Here he is now at New Hampshire. 3 races in a row for a guy who only had 1 before race 25. I mean, this is just incredible, the run he's on right now.
You know, Andrew, it was not too long ago that we were talking about Vincent Arthur potentially missing the chase from missing so many races and having to work. I mean, he missed a few races being in San Diego for the race at the naval base. He missed a few races here and there with real-world duties, and now he's back and he's here with a force.
Vincent Arthur, 3 wins in a row now in the NORA Retro Cup Series. I don't know where this all came from. You're absolutely right, though. Not too long ago, we were talking about him maybe missing the chase. Thought he might not even be fighting for a championship, and oh, how wrong we were. California, Richmond, New Hampshire opens up the chase with a big win here at the Magic Mile. We'll go back and get a look at the unofficial race results here. Just an incredible day for Vincent. He was always in the conversation, wasn't really there for a while, and then suddenly just was. And when Kevin had to pit for fuel, he was there to go ahead and take the spoils. Let's see the unofficial race results. Vincent Arthur, Josh Conover, Ronnie Norman. We'll be talking to all 3 here in just a few moments. 4th place, how about Ryan Housden, Dalton Tucker, a top 5? So, I mean, it's not like he's losing a whole lot, right? He's still in the conversation big time. We're going to have, I think, a new points leader for just the 2nd time it'll be just the 3rd driver to lead the standings all season. It's only been Hunter Sr. and Dalton Tucker to this point. I think Vincent Arthur, Josh Conover, they're going to be up there now. Certainly, I would think Arthur would get it after this race. It's going to be a whole new picture into Rockingham in a couple of weeks. Hunter Sr. does finish 6th. Good run there, especially considering he got turned around late in this race. Coulter Clark, great debut, 7th place. He's going to have some folks ringing up Ace Moneymaker, I guess, as Cody Anderson goes 8th, Brian Jones 9th, and Rusty Rafferty. How about this, Zach? I'm going to roll up my sleeves and be happy with Kirk Shelmerdine cars, both in the top 10 tonight.
It's a solid run for the 72 and the 27 tonight.
Yeah, it is.
Rolling outside the top 10, though, we see 3 chasers that did not expect their days to end like this. Jacob Gladulage ends up in the 11th spot, which is not too par for the course for him. He did a phenomenal job, actually, with his overall race strategy. So pulling off a 11th place finish really ain't something to shy away from. Kevin Baumler right behind him, leading the race with 10 to go, having to go to the pit lane, gas up, and get to the end. You gotta hate it for the driver of the 81. We know that win's coming one of these days, Kevin. I'm sure it's going to be monumental. And then Chase Durheim, the driver that a lot of people had expected to win this race, to walk away with it, and he led a good margin of this race, ends up in the 13th position after that big wreck on the front straightaway with Christenberry falling right behind him in the 14th spot. Matthew George, the first car, 1 lap down, and then it's Caden Henry Oaks, John Skavnicki, Dakota Sidros, Christopher Heights, and Brady Moats to round out your top 20. Only a few cars left after that, Andrew, as we only had a 25-car field. Not even. Elijah Mopin ends up 21st with Nick Hom 22nd, Nathan Anderson 23rd, and John Cottle ends up 24th with Caden Perkins and Jason Steptoe never even seeing the green flag.
Glad they signed in at least. Not glad they did not race, but yeah, Vincent Arthur back in victory lane. Boy, what a night for him. What a few weeks. What a month nearly here to cap off August. Vincent, that's 3 in a row now. 4 if you want to count the late model win over the weekend. I mean, what are you doing? That is, I mean, is it a golden horseshoe? I'm not going to go looking for it, but is it a golden horseshoe?
No, it's what I tell my girlfriend to do at highway traffic. I'm just rolling momentum. Man, this has been a really fun stretch of races. I don't know. Maybe it's just not practicing and just rolling up and just having to take care of my stuff and initially, and then you kind of figure out where the speed is as you go. I'll be honest with you, I can't tell you what it is, but I'm glad we're hitting it as the chase is starting. I mean, yeah, this 24 crew is just on fire right now. I mean, Hendrick 1-2 to start the chase. It's just like we're back in 2005 again. So, yeah, just really cool overall. I mean, this race was a lot of fun. New Hampshire is one of my best tracks statistically. So, being able to run down on the apron and kind of move your line around and stuff like that, man, this place is just a blast. And I tried to give it away a couple times tonight, but at the end of the day, it's me and Josh made a decision to pit and take 2 there with like 58 to go or so. And, you know, we knew we were going to be good on the gas, and everybody else that stayed out wasn't. So we knew we were going to be at the front, and we were able to battle it out between ourselves, which was really, really cool.
You mentioned knowing you and Josh were good on fuel and everybody else that pitted with and after you, but Kevin Baumler really had us fooled, because I didn't think the level of commit he had would be to run out of gas and have to pit there at the end. Did you at all think he was good to the end? Was he saying over driver chat that he wasn't?
Oh, no, we all knew he wasn't good to go. I mean, sure,
I did as well by math, but with how long he committed, he had me concerned there for a minute.
So kind of what we were guessing he was doing was just trying to build as big of a gap as he could, so that when he pit, he gave himself that buffer. Because he was hauling the mail there for a while. He was like 2 or 3 tenths faster than everybody else. And, really just putting the pedal to the metal, going all out. So
he's probably gonna be screaming at the TV later when he watches this back, because I was saying the whole time, you got a 5-second lead on Vincent Arthur with 20 lap older tires. Why is he not clutching in? I guess I'm just curious, purely from a standpoint, so I know how to call these races better. I mean, what would you do in that spot?
New Hampshire's kind of a track where you can lift and coast and save a lot of gas doing that. People will eat time into the corner because you can dive pretty deep into here, but I mean, at the same token, he was really short. I mean, we had 43 laps of gas left when we pit. And really, because we didn't know if we were going to get another caution again, just because we kept having those like 2-lap runs and cautions and whatnot. But yeah, we didn't know if we were going to get another caution. And at that stage, there's no way we were able to stretch that much. Normally, if you're within like here, maybe a 4-lap window max, you can save that. But, you know, with iRacing, you're asking a lot if you're trying to save, 12, 15 laps of gas.
Zach, I'm curious. You've had to watch the 24 car win the last 3 weeks. Do you have anything you want to ask the driver of the 24?
When are you gonna not win another race that Josh finishes second to you in?
Hopefully next February.
Oh, dang.
Fair.
Hopefully I just keep rolling this stretch we've been on, and just, I mean, all we're doing is putting together solid races. Like I said earlier, there were times at this race where I was just trying to give it away. The speed on pit road, and then, pitting and having to go back in track position. It's like 2 steps forward and 5 back. But then eventually there at the end, we were just able to start marching forward. And I was tight as a dump truck at the end there, and Josh was as loose as a loose thing. So it was really fun to battle with him. He's always fun to race against because I know he's going to race me fair. He knows I'm going to race him fair. And yeah, it's always a blast.
Good to talk to you, Vincent. Congratulations, 3 in a row. Hopefully we're talking to you in a couple of weeks at Rockingham.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
A big win tonight for driver 24, and he gets it done over his teammate, Josh Conover. I wonder, Zach, how thrilled is he to be talking to you?
Oh, well, I'm sure he's going to be absolutely thrilled to be talking to me. And Josh, it's so great that I get the chance to talk to you because I actually have some fun statistics to pull up for you tonight. So just give me one moment here. In the last couple of races, you have finished within a few spots, but still always behind your teammate of Vincent Arthur. You finished third to him at Auto Club. You finished fourth to him at Richmond. And you finished second to him tonight. Why do you keep finishing behind this man?
Because I'm a team player.
A team player, he says. Team player, he says.
Hey, would you finish behind the same guy every week? I don't think so.
Considering Jeff Gordon was my childhood hero, I'd be driving that car and you'd be finishing behind me, sir. Thank you. But,
No, I would just turn.
Wow. Alrighty then.
What I will say to humble you back down, Zach, is if Josh Conover had a stat to pop in an interview, he would have had it ready at the beginning of the interview.
All right. Okay. I was pulling it up while you were finishing it up, and I didn't get it pulled up in time. However, you know what? I don't have a funny remark for that. I had it going in my head. I lost my train of thought immediately. But Josh, big question I got to ask you before we step away here. The fuel strategy. That was the biggest thing that we saw a lot of these guys flirting with. When did you realize that you guys were going to be into the good and you were okay to the end rather than having to pit one more time like guys like Christenberry or Baumler did towards the end?
Right before that last caution that came out on with 58 to go, I think. So probably 65, 70 to go. I even told Vinny, I was like, if we get another short run, I'll probably pit. It might hurt me because with my luck, we'll get cautions and I'll still be like 12th or 13th. And I said, but if it goes green, we'll be good. And then sure enough, I think literally everybody came down. We decided to take two and try and get track position. And ultimately, I'd say that paid off. Kevin, man, he's looking for his first win. And I thought for sure he was going to have it tonight. And even Brady did. And I told him that he still had to pit. And he goes, oh, wait, you don't have to? So even Brady didn't know that we were good. But for once, the strategy worked, and I almost got Vinny. Almost. Then you couldn't have thrown that in my face.
So close, yet so far, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So what else can you do, Mr. Conover, other than walk away happy with a second place finish and some solid points in the chase, leaving race number 1? Congrats on the second place finish, man.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I didn't even know I actually led a lap, but that actually helped me get by Dalton. I actually should be up by 1 point or 5 points, going into Rockingham, which is good because I struggled there last year when we went for race 3, I think it was. But yeah, the only thing I could have done there was probably move Vinny, but being a teammate, I'd rather not do that race 1 of the chase. We got a long run here, but yeah, thanks to you guys. Can't wait to get back and watch as always, and shout out to Harpoon Design for coming on and helping us out this year as well, being the title sponsor, and everybody that ran. Chase race 27, I think. We had, 26 cars, so hopefully we keep that number or grow a little bit more, and hopefully put on some good shows like we did tonight.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Josh Conover is going to go out and win Rockingham because for some reason, whenever he says he's bad at a track, he at least ends up leading laps. So there it is.
I didn't win, Zach, because you didn't pick me for fantasy. Now I blame you.
Well, Andrew, is it not weird that every time I pick Josh to win a race, he ends up winning the race?
I guess you should pick him next week. Well, not next week.
All I'm going to say is, before I go, Zach didn't pick me in fantasy, so I didn't have the speed to beat Vinny, and Andrew broadcast cursed Brady. He was talking him up, and then Brady wrecked. So you know what?
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
You put that evil on yourself, to be perfectly
honest.
No.
I was just doing my job. Brady wrecked at his own volition.
That's
well,
fair.
Talk about doing your job. We've still got one more driver to talk to tonight, and that being Ronnie Norman. So congratulations again, Josh, on the second place finish. And he just dipped out way too freaking quickly.
I moved him. I booted him out of here. I showed him the door because we've got to bring in somebody that has opened the door to possibilities here in the chase. Ronnie, I'm not going to lie. Pre-race, I was talking about, I've got the graphic here somewhere, I don't want to pull it up, but talking about the fact that you kind of just skidded into the chase, right? You come into tonight, bottom seed, kind of just like, hey, what's up, hello, can I get some points? And you did. I mean, how did you, I guess, just skate in and then look like you're championship material right away?
I don't know about championship material. I feel like that's a far-fetched.
Third place.
But, right. Man, I just, ever since getting this new wheel, it's definitely taken a little bit to kind of get the ends met on it, to really figure out how to drive it, how to run it. The other wheel, I was running some high force feedback, and now I'm not anymore. So the transition has been slow, but I feel like it's starting to ramp up at the right time, because after last week at Richmond, I really felt like I found something. And then I really felt good coming into New Hampshire this week. And yeah, like I said, put it on the podium. So my feelings were there. I guess I for some reason, I have a good track record here in New Hampshire. I don't know why. I won a race here in NORA in the Cup Series a couple of years ago or so. And I, trying to win these races are just so hard. So, but yeah, putting it on the podium, first race of the chase, being the 10 seed, I know I gotta do some work to try to catch up with some of these top runners that have been running well all year. And as long as everything's running fine, and we can qualify good up front and have some good runs. And man, some of them wrecks I dodged tonight, oh my gosh, I thought I was gone in a couple of them. So yeah, a bit of good luck there as well. And yeah, like I said, definitely starting out on the right foot here at New Hampshire going into the chase.
Absolutely, a bunch of points in the bag now. The whole chase is going to be turned on its head, and you got an extra week now until Rockingham, and that's a place that you want to have that force feedback figured out. That's for sure. The bumps there are second to none. Have you turned laps in this car on Legacy Rockingham yet?
Yeah, I've raced both setups so far, and I enjoy either one. I definitely like I said, the Legacy one is going to be really bumpy, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to get figured out with the way these cars just get loose out of the corners. So yeah, no, we'll I'm looking forward to Rockingham. I know it'll be interesting. I don't know if I've ever raced these cars there before or not, so yeah, like I said, hopefully getting ready to go qualify. We'll see kind of how she feels. And yeah, like I said, I just extremely pumped with the way tonight went. I just couldn't be more happier, honestly.
All right, congratulations, best of luck. Hopefully we're talking to you a whole lot more. This could be a generational Robbie Gordon experience these last 9 races now. Hey, you weren't throwing helmets at the 15 cars. That's a good start.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to him there at the end of the race, and I know Ryan was faster than me. I know he saved his tires way better than I did. And I said, man, I said, any other race, I'd let you go, but now they're in the chase, I can't now. So, but he was like, nah, he's like, I understand, man, it's part of it. So, yeah, no, it's, me and the 15, we're on good terms after this race. So, unlike, the real race back in the day, yeah, hopefully, we can keep Robbie Gordon running pretty good here in this chase, man. I'm trying to give everything I got, and, we'll just see what we can do.
There you go. Ronnie Norman with a big finish here at New Hampshire. Hopefully we're talking to you again soon, Ronnie.
I hope so too, man. Hopefully we figured everything out, and this is a new trend for us. So yeah, hopefully that's the thing.
There you go. Setting new trends here in the fall of 2026. Ronnie Norman, 3rd place. And Zach, I'm a believer in the 7 car. I really am. He's put together a really, really solid season, just with a few hiccups. And if he can get, keep this rolling through the fall, this could be something huge. For driver number 7. A big thank you to the partners with the series, Harpoon Design, Sparks Builders, Dark Star Garage, all helping us get to this point and beyond here in NORA with Pit Stop TV. And a big thank you to our partners as well, Whiplash Sim Cams, MX Wraps, ATVO, Motors Esports, CC's Business, the North American Racing League, and Whiplash Creative. And MX Designs. Yes, they help us too. MX so good they're on here twice. But Zach, how about driver of the day? Have you checked the vote at all?
Have not, actually.
I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with who ends up, maybe not surprised, with who ends up getting this. Last week he ended up leading the most laps, and I was pretty impressed that he was able to do that right at the end. Ended up getting the 73rd lap led on the final lap of the race. Tonight, didn't lead a lap until the final 10? Vincent Arthur.
Just about.
Goes to victory lane for the 3rd week straight, and he is tonight's North American Racing League driver of the day. The burnouts and all at the end of the race are spectacular. Vincent Arthur is burning this league up. I I don't know where this came from all of a sudden. It's like, you know, Harry Gant, how he had that great month of September all those years ago. He was called Mr. September for the rest of his career. It's kind of like a Mr. August thing. We'll have to work on the naming. Vincent August, maybe? I don't know. But regardless, a really, really good month for the 24 car.
It has been a solid month for the 24 car. He has just been on rails. I mean, sleeper championship contender, maybe?
Not even a sleeper. I think he is easily the favorite right now for the championship. We'll see exactly how the chase looks. I guess we can pull up points here in a second. But, Zach, as we wrap this thing up, next up for the series, Rockingham in a couple of weeks. Next week is off for Labor Day, but Rockingham is going to be so important.
That it is. Rockingham is going to be one of those tracks that you just have to lock in and get some good points rolling through there. And I will say, Andrew, these cars at that track, oh, it's going to be a toughie. Now, have they already established if it's going to be the old version of Rockingham or the rescan version of Rockingham?
Yeah, I was just talking about that with Ronnie. It's a legacy scan.
Oh, well,
legacy if it's available. That's the rule. Legacy if it's available.
I guess so. I mean, it makes sense, obviously, for the time period, but I would have loved to see these cars try to handle that track on fresh asphalt.
It'll be the legacy scan, old, worn out, bumpy as heck, and turn 2 is going to feel... Turn 2 is going to feel like a black hole pulling you into the wall kind of thing. It's going to be scary next race for sure. They get an extra week to practice for it, though, so plenty of time to have those cars tuned up. Rockingham should be a lot of fun. And then Talladega right after, too. And that's going to fall in a good spot as well with, you know, the iRacing update. That'll come out right in between those two races. Getting a week A, you know, well, how do I phrase this? It's going to back us up so that Rockingham is right after the build, actually. Come to think of it. I was thinking it was right before. It's right after. So that might be challenging, but then it's Talladega, so they at least have a chance to kind of get their wits about them. And then it's Kansas and a bunch of very much driver-forward racetracks in this car. Once we leave Talladega, Kansas, Charlotte, Martinsville, Atlanta, Texas, Phoenix, Miami, every single one of those races is going to demand the absolute most from the driver in order to be successful.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to the rest of the racing going on this season with NORA. It's hard to believe, Andrew, that we've only got realistically 9 weeks left of racing with these guys for this season.
It'll be interesting to see how it goes. Next up for us here at Pit Stop TV, there you see Full Send Cup Series action at Daytona on Wednesday evening. Thursday, the North American Racing League sends their amateur drivers out to France, to Le Mans, and then there you see as well, Tuesday, September the 8th, just after Labor Day, right before the iRacing build, we are going racing with the WRL National Series for the first time. We'll put the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Series cars on the racetrack for the Clash at the beach. Gonna be a lot of fun. And of course, Full Send, we're setting the chase field there for them at Daytona. So just like ARN was the other morning, we're setting the field of 16 rather in their series. But it's going to be a super important race for them, and it's only race 3 for the AMs on Thursday, by the way, in NARL, so a very important race for them as well. Kind of formative, still kind of forming their season. They race back-to-back. They go from Le Mans this week straight to, let me think about it. Let me do this. I can't think of what track it is. Hang on. Boom. There we go. Long Beach. Street course. There we go. I knew I had the graphics available, and I do that for a reason. And sure enough, there you see. From Le Mans straight to Long Beach for those guys. That's going to be a challenge. That's back-to-back weeks after having a month in between races. That's going to be a change-up for them. So there's a lot here at Pit Stop TV. A lot going on. We have a lot of broadcasts. The last month or so has been really, really hectic, and tonight was no different. But Zach, it's going to be a lot of fun, especially September 8th, the Clash at the beach. Might even see a couple of these guys in the field tonight going at it.
That we will. And you can always follow along with everything Pit Stop TV. All the social links listed down at the bottom, plus the Discord link to join the Pit Stop TV Discord and get yourself involved with all of the fantasy games that we have to play here for each series. Not to mention The WRL National Series still looking for a few spots to fill out, and 2 more drivers are being searched for Merge Esports as well. So if you need a team to run with, mine is very much open. But looking forward to all of the great stuff that is going to be happening here on Pit Stop TV.
That'll do it for us this evening from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. A good night, I'd say, overall, right, Zach? I mean, that was pretty solid for a racetrack that has gotten a bad rap recent years. Only 11 cautions, nothing too crazy. Just a solid night.
Who's giving New Hampshire a bad rap?
Are you serious? NASCAR fans for the last 10 years, 20 years even, saying it's boring, this, that, and the other, but I think it's a track that still deserves 2 dates. It's just a little bit different from most everywhere else in the calendar, and it's up in a good market. Anyways, I digress. Thanks for watching here this evening. It's been a pleasure as always. A big thank you as well to all the partners involved, but that'll be it for us from New Hampshire Motor Speedway, especially if you got to this point. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate it. Do not miss. Tomorrow night we might have Legends. Keep an eye out. But Wednesday, that's the next big broadcast for us. Full send at Daytona. And from there, NRL on Thursday. We got the weekend kind of off. So keep an eye out for the Clash at the Beach on Tuesday, September 8th. Do not miss it. You don't want to miss anything having to do with WRL National Series coming up. That's going to fire up very, very quickly. Until then, though, thanks for watching. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.